6. And let me just say that by next Saturday, we'll still be in the month of January. This is a big issue on Channel One television and on 97.3 City FM, where we do the dispassionate discussion of the big stories of the week. I am Umaru Sandamadu. You're welcome. You're welcome back. This is a big issue on Channel One television and on 97.3 City FM. So every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to midday, we meet in the studio of Channel One TV at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra and do the analysis of the big stories. If there's a story that you missed or did not understand or want some other perspectives to, this is a show that you should tune into, because this is where we do the analysis and talk about the behind-the-scenes stories that you may not have been familiar with. Now, there are major stories we are looking at today that would affect you, but there's one that affects you directly and the most. It has to do with the cost of fuel that you buy at the pumps. Now, over the period, we've seen a reduction in the price of fuel, but there appears to be a demand for further reduction, and there's one particular oil marketing company that intends to go further down for the benefit of the public, but it appears there are some stumbling blocks. The stumbling blocks being the state regulator and the law that has been put in place. We'll be finding out if it is possible to go lower than what has been said. We say that it's a deregulated market space, and I mean the fuel marketing space is deregulated. But is it really deregulated? That's a conversation we'll be having today. And if it is deregulated, how far can a company go? If I sell my watches for 10 cedis and you decide to sell yours for 2 cedis, would anybody stop you? It appears that that's what this conversation is all about. So we have a report that we have put together which features a number of stakeholders in the industry. I want you to watch it to just refresh your memory before we start the ball, or we set the ball rolling.
The managing director of GOAL, Edward Bauer, says calls for deeper petrol price cuts are undermined when some companies continue to sell petrol at around 9 cedis 97 pesos. His comments followed proposals from industry players, including Star Oil CEO Philip Tieku, who suggested selling petrol at 9 cedis 50 pesos per litre between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. to support Ghana's nighttime economy if the price floor were removed.
The price floor that the NPA sets is outdated and has got to go.
Some market watchers have backed calls to scrap the price floor. The National Petroleum Authority, however, has dismissed claims that the fuel price floor is preventing further reductions. Director of Economic Regulation and Planning, Abbas Tasunti, made the remarks to Channel One Business.
Star Oil's prices for the past 4 windows, let's take from the first window of December 2025. Comparing that to the price floor, Star Oil has always priced above the price floor. So and even when they have decided to discount for some of their stations, the discounted price is also higher than the price floor. This should tell you something, that even for Star Oil, who is making this claim, they are not selling even at the level of the price floor to warrant this argument that had it not been for the price floor, they would have sold lower. So let me give you specific numbers. If you take the first window of December, the price floor for petrol was 10.98 cedis per litre. Star Oil's price was 11.97.
The debate highlights rising tension between competitive pricing and regulatory compliance as OMCs vie for market share.
Well, so that is the basic conversation that we're going to have today, the cost of fuel. How much you should pay for fuel? Who decides that? And can you decide to pay less? I mean, can you decide to charge less than the industry price? I would also later on introduce another topic which is important to our democracy. The largest opposition party, the New Patriotic Party, is going to the polls next Saturday, so in exactly 8 days from today, or a week from today. The NPP delegates, 200,000 plus, will be queuing to vote for one of 5. Either Honorable Kennedy Ejepong, or Dr. Brian Echampong, or Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, or Honorable Kwabena Ejepong, or Honorable Yao Ose Educhum. Any of these 5 could become flag bearer of the NPP, leading the party into the polls next 3 years, rather, 2028. and the preparation is ongoing. They signed a peace pact, and the peace pact looked as if it was unpeaceful in its nature. Now, I have a report that I just want to share with you before we get into the main discussion. So the presidential aspirants converged on the New Patriotic Party head office in Accra, and during the peace pact, we saw some very interesting developments. Dr. Brian Chompon says if he wasn't the one between number 1 and number 3, there would have been fisticuffs. Watch.
Speaking at the Peace Pact signing ceremony, the General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia Frimpong, commended members of the Presidential Elections Committee and the National Executive Committee for their professionalism throughout the ongoing presidential primaries campaign. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohuno, disclosed plans to deploy a minimum of 70 police personnel to each voting center to ensure security during the polls. He, however, noted that the security arrangements in the Boku area will be handled by the military.
We have been able to make our operational plans. We have met all our regional commanders who are responsible for these areas where these elections will take place. We have gone over all the preparations over and over and ready to go to the field. In the section of Boku, that is the area that we may need the support of the military.
Taking his stand, the minority leader Alexander Apenyo-Markin reminded the rank and file of the party of the need to remain united in their quest to wrest political power from the NDC.
A house divided at the grassroots and in the leadership ranks cannot be a formidable opposition in parliament. Every time party actors choose internal sabotage over solidarity, they blunt the sharp edge of the minority's oversight. When committees need unified backing to investigate corruption, when critical votes demand tight coordination, and when national crises call for clear, united voice, internal fractures translate into parliamentary weakness. Let no one deceive themselves. The divisions surrounding this primary go beyond party offices. They risk crippling the mighty minority's collective and effective ability to check the Mahama administration.
Former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo also urged aspirants to remain committed to the ideals and collective interest of the party, regardless of the outcome of the January 31 internal elections.
So I charge all of you, this peace pact must not only be signed, it must be lived. Over the remaining days, let your campaigns be firm but fair, competitive but respectful. Ours is a tradition that rejects fear, insults, intimidation, and bitterness. Loyalty to individuals must never supersede loyalty to the party. After the primaries, there must be one party, one direction, one destiny.
So that's the New Patriotic Party. We'll be dealing with that later on the show, but welcome. You can join us with your messages on the show. There are various options. Now, first of all, you can watch us on TV and listen to us on radio. You can go to YouTube and look for City FM or ChannelOne TV. You can also go to Facebook and look for City FM or ChannelOne TV. You can stream and listen live. You can put your comments under there. You can also go on Twitter, now known as X, and send your messages by mentioning my handle at Umaru Sanda or at City973. Do use the hashtag #TheBigIssue, the hashtag #TheBigIssue when you send your messages. If you want to go on WhatsApp, the numbers are 020-444-7033. So 020-444-7033. The alternative WhatsApp number is 0543 986 996, 0543 986 996. Send your messages and the world will get to hear. Let me introduce now my guest in studio for today's conversation. My first guest he represents the people who consume fuel, not consume like drink, but use fuel. From LPG to the one they use on the sea to catch fish, the blue one. I don't know that it's still, premix is still blue, I don't know. Duncan Amor is his name, Executive Secretary, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Duncan, you're welcome.
Sandra, thank you for having me.
Do we still paint premix blue?
We do.
It's premix, right? That's what it's called,
Yes.
the one they use for the outboard
The
motor.
outboard.
And they said it's to prevent smuggling. But people have been smuggling it still.
Of course.
Or they don't.
It's still got a lot of petrol in there with lubricants.
Yeah.
So if you blend carefully, you will still be able to come back to the original product, depending on how much product you dump in there. So we have asked that they should take a second look at it. Probably allow the fishermen to buy their own fuel. And if there are subsidies you want to give them, you give to them so that they can buy their fuel, buy the lubricants, do their own blending. But where you mix and carry to them, and mostly it doesn't go to them, some parts will be diverted. And that's a worry. Sander.
Okay, so is it pre-mixed by the OMCs, or they buy 1 gallon of petrol, 2 gallons of diesel, put it together to do premix?
The blending is done at Tor.
Oh, okay, so Thor does that. Okay.
So you just go and load and say that it is going to a London beach, and some will go, some eventually don't go. So I have said if we did an audit of exactly what the fisher folks need, how much they need, we may not need to load 100 trucks every now and then in the name of supplying to the fisher folks, especially when it's not getting to them.
Okay.
Maybe they are using 60. And because of that, we have used the price stabilization and recovery levy, money that we should have put aside to give to BDCs or to the OMCs when there's a steep price differential, so that they don't go up very sharply or don't go down very sharply. We have rather applied that money to premix, and it's the Ghanaian taxpayer that pays for it. I have equally said, so if a trotro driver does not necessarily get to eat the fish that the fisher folks bring, he's only paid for a fishing expedition that he benefited not. Okay. We may need to look at it again.
Okay, thank you, Duncan. My next guest in studio, he's a doctor. Are you a book doctor or a medical doctor? Because my mother and father, whenever I go with a doctor to introduce to them, then they say, oh, this is my back is paining. Then the person says, I'm a PhD doctor. They say, oh, what a useless doctor. So please, okay. Are you book doctor or PhD doctor? You?
Oh, I say PhD.
Yeah, PhD. Okay, yes. Then my mother will not like you. Dr. Riverson Opong, that's his name. He's CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. How are you doing?
I'm great.
You have been in the news this week.
He has also been in the news this week.
No, he's always in the news.
You have been.
But you are in the news for not very good reasons.
Well, it's all good. It's part of the work.
How many OMCs do we have currently in the country?
Today, in books, we have 229
229 companies.
Yeah. And more are coming, believe me.
But how can we only see 10, and out of the 10, only 7 are gidi, and out of the 7, only 3 are reducing petrol?
More than 3 are reducing petrol. More than 3.
Hey, 200 plus. Wow. Yeah. And more are coming.
More are coming, I know.
Why we don't have a ceiling for it? Like Parliament, we have a number of seats. We say we don't want to. We want to still keep increasing.
The airline does not control the number of OMCs or PSPs that you can bring into the sector, unfortunately. And Duncan can bear with me that we've been advocating for stringent policies around that, especially those who are not non-operational but holding a license.
Okay. So there are a number of people who have licenses but they are not operating.
Yeah.
Must you have a minimum number of fuel stations before you're allowed to have an
today is 7, but we have those who have 5, 6.
And they are still operating. Interesting.
Yeah, there's somebody who has 5 stations and lifting as many fuel as Total.
And sending to Burkina Faso and Niger, or where are they sending? Or claiming to send to?
MPA knows.
The last time I interviewed you, you said you didn't know that we have the Burka fuel station that people erroneously call Gao Gao, the roadside one. You said you didn't know, and you also didn't know that we have the tabletop fuel stations in Accra. Have you seen it since the last time?
Accra, I've not seen.
Plenty day.
Accra, I've not seen, but when I went to Cape Coast for the Chambers Mystery Shopping, that's when I saw both tabletop and some level of gao.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were shocked, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It means that there's a lot of work that you have to do.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do.
Out of the 200 plus OMCs, how many are state, apart from Goel? Which one is state-owned?
Only Goel is state-owned company.
Wow, but they're private ones, Ghana-owned ones? Or
Yeah,
Ghanaian-owned ones?
I think the rest are indigenous, except I can say Total, Shell, Puma. Yeah, because Engine has now...
So Total and Shell, they are foreign, but so does it mean someone who has a franchise here owns it, which means indirectly it's a Ghanaian?
You know it's listed.
Okay.
Total and Shell are listed companies, so they are Ghanaians who own part of Total and Shell.
Okay. Yeah. You are welcome, Dr. Riverson.
Thank you, sir.
My next guest, the last time I met him, he was a doctor, now he's a professor.
Associate professor.
Associate professor, because I wanted to ask whether Dr. Jinapo Professor Jinapo is aware that you have become a professor. So I'll report you to him.
I'm an associate
Professor Sharif Khalid Mahmoud, he speaks for the Vice President, Professor Nana Jinapo Kwajima. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir.
Everything good?
By grace, I'll say Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. How is the good old professor doing?
You can see she's been crisscrossing ministries.
Yeah, she's been very busy.
Very busy and active, representing the president at key fora.
Just 1 week that the president went away, no, she decided to shake things.
No, it's not one. She's been doing this since last year.
Yeah, I mean, but like last week, one day was like, I think that's why President Obama quickly had to come back.
No, not that. So it tells you that there's good synergy between the two. And also, President Muhammad made a good choice and know that if I'm not in town, I have a very strong back.
Okay, that's
in a
good.
motherly figure.
So she's fine. She's
fantastic. I mean, this morning before I came in studio, we let me take this opportunity to pay a glowing tribute to the family of Kofi Wayo, who was part of our campaign. He passed away, so Prof is there, trying to commiserate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's trying to commiserate a few families.
Our condolences. But since you mentioned Kofi Wayo, who knows where the otother Kofi Wayo is, or the original Kofi Wayo?
I'll leave that to you.
Any of you know where the original Kofi Wayo is? Duncan, do you know?
Riverton should have an idea.
Oh, no. Let me say that we'll also be joined by Franklin Kujo, who is president of Imani Africa, and Senyo Hosi is an economic policy analyst. He once headed the CBOD, the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. We'll also be joined in studio by Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He's a member of the New Patriotic Party and a pro-Dr. Baumia activist. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's start off with Duncan. Duncan, the conversation around the fuel price has been topical. For someone who is not sure, can you put everything into perspective for us? What the demand from the consumers are, what the OMCs are offering, and what the NPA's position is, and what can be done moving forward?
Okay, Sanda, let me summarize it this way. COPEC is simply for the consumer, the downtrodden, the trotro person, the teacher that buys fuel in the morning. In such discourses, they may not be able to get their voices, projected or articulated. So we try as much as possible to do that on their behalf. What the consumer in Ghana respects are three things. One is affordability. The fuel should be pocket-friendly. It should be available. And then again, the quality parameter equally should be something that you can vouch for in a day. So Sanda, if you wake up to unavailability, is a problem. If you wake up to very high prices, it's a problem. And if you wake up to bad fuel, it's a problem. And so for us at COPEC,
quality, quantity,
and then affordability.
Okay.
Exactly. The presence of all three is a desirable situation. Mm-hmm. You would want the fuel to be there. You would want it to be of a certain quality. That does not destroy your engine. You would want it to be pocket-friendly, such that if you look at how much you are paid, and you need to be able to maybe buy fuel and probably be able to drive around to and from work, you should be able to do that. it's an evolving, you know, space. And so things keep changing, particularly on price and particularly on issue of quality. We've gone past a time frame when people used to suspect that if you sell cheaper, it's bad product or bad quality. You know, the typical Ghanaian has this thinking that once there's product that comes to him, somebody is, you know, 50 Ghana, somebody is 40 Ghana, probably the 40 Ghana is not good. We've gone past that. Initially, we were even worried for some of the companies that were selling lower, thinking of sustainability, would they collapse themselves? They've proved over the period that they are sustainable. Then you come to the issue of quality, right? So you started by asking of premix and other products, condensate that finds its way to be boxed with other products and sold to the unsuspecting public. Let me put it this way. There's a problem, okay? You have products that you don't desire to get to the filling station, getting there. We strongly believe that it is a regulatory lapse or a systemic problem that needs to be dealt with, so that I don't go loading premix 100 trucks when the actual demand for premix should have been 60. If I do that, the remaining 40 will not be dumped on a school park. They would have to find its way, you know, surreptitiously onto the forecourt where you and I will go and buy unsuspectingly. So there's a systemic problem that you would need to deal with. In trying to resolve some of the problems that has to do with bad fuel or off-spec or low-quality products getting on the market, one of the policies that the industry itself recommended to the NPA, as far as the interactions I've heard Dr. Opon engage in, says that they had requested that some of the initiatives that the NPA should put in should be a price floor. This came up in 2024. Our initial stance was to kick against it.
So the industry requested for the price floor to be in place?
Clearly, a section of the industry. It couldn't have been everybody.
Okay.
Some of the companies that felt there were price undercutting issues had also gone raising issues that you should put a floor so that it cannot be somebody is selling at 6 cities and is attracting all the traffic, and I am at 12 cities, I'm not getting much. When that came up and the NPA initiated the process, we kicked against it, outright. Our reason was that you were applying the wrong medication to a symptom of a problem. You know where the illegal or the bad fuels are coming from. If you sit at the authority and you say you don't know, then probably you've not been able to get out there to do your own fact finding. What channels these products get onto the market from. If somebody goes to bring MGO, marine gas oil, you know what the vessels would need to power their engines, and is able to divert inland, and it finds its way to go compete with automated gas oil, diesel, that one may probably not attract all the taxes because it was siphoned. The other is paying full taxes. And so if you allow the illegality to go on, and you rather come to sanction the others doing legitimate business, to say that, look, even though you are being legitimate, I don't want you to go below a certain price threshold. We had a problem with that. And I say this again on the back of the fact that the period pre-2024, Sanda, we didn't have anything called price floors.
So this thing came in 2024?
Yeah, it wasn't there. There was not something. We had entered a proper deregulation phase July 1st, 2015. When
Which means
government
free
said,
for all.
I cannot continue to subsidize for petroleum products. I don't have the capacity to absorb industry losses, which later became known as legacy debt, right?
Okay.
And so I'm going to leave you the market to buy, do your full cost recovery, and add your margin or something.
But government still, through NPA, had a ceiling. So there was a ceiling, but not a price floor.
There's never been a ceiling.
So you can charge as much as you want.
There is still not a ceiling. You see, that is where the COPEC as a body would have a problem. So pre-2024, you had allowed the market to evolve. Okay, price wars had been occasioned. There were times that the bigger three then, which is Shell, Gold, Total, you know, there was this scheme pricing. This one would wait on the other to bring their price, and then they'll go down by some 2, 3, 4 pesos, just to be able to say that they are even cheaper than the other, right? So scheme pricing had been occasioned. We were enjoying those price wars until 2024, when some had said that, look, people are bringing bad products and are able to sell cheaper. The basis we did not find funny, because if people are bringing bad products and you need to stop them.
Stop them.
Stop the bad product. Don't allow the bad product to come to the pumps and tell them that instead of the bad product coming to the pump that the person says I could have sold for 6 cedis, you must all sell around 9 or 10 cedis, so that we are preventing bad products. And I don't think anybody will find this sort of argument, you know. So
this problem now should go back to government. Government should be dealing with it. Let me bring
agencies that are supposed to be monitoring our security. Unfortunately,
government agencies.
Sometimes you hear they themselves are even complicit.
I see. Okay, so there's the root of the problem is where we should deal with it from. Let me bring in reverse in. Doc, Duncan has just explained the price floor thing. It was non-existent until 2024. Yeah. Since 2015, it was a deregulated market. You decided to do anything you wanted. He said that industry or some members of the industry asked for the price floor to be introduced. Do you recall, I mean, you took over as boss at the chamber not long ago, but do you recall what led us to that? Which of your members possibly thought that they were being cheated and wanted the price floor to be introduced? And the deregulated market, how does it work in practice for your members?
Right. Thank you, Sandra. And like Duncan rightly said, facts are facts. And the only thing that is close to the truth enough, if not propaganda, is the facts. So when the facts are on the table, we discuss it. It's true. There was no floor price or price floor as far as 2024. I think the first quarter.
Okay.
I joined in April when it was being reviewed. You mentioned ceiling price, it came up. We discussed a lot of things. Also, it's true that it was the industry led by the chamber, at that time the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, that took this decision to MPA. As far as I know, the first time the chamber or the Association of Oil Marketing Companies took it to MPA, it was not accepted, with the reason that we were fully deregulated, so let the market go and take off itself. But I understand that the chamber went back, reviewed the proposal that had been given to MPA, and then MPA saw sense in what had been provided. Let me illustrate what the floor price is doing in a very simple term. I see the floor price as a traffic light. You understand? When you have a traffic light, it's there to protect pedestrians. Consumers here are people in the taxis or Ubers going to work, so they're not late to work. You and I understand a crossroad without a traffic light, what happens? There's chaos, because everybody won't go. As you can see in Kinshasa, Congo, a journey of 30 minutes can take you 3 hours, because until you get to the crossroad, it's an hour. When you pass it, the road is free. Indirectly, what we are saying is that the traffic light can be abused. So we have people who will cross it when it's red. If the police sees, they sanction them. But Sanja, you are aware that in Europe, there's no police standing at the back of traffic light arresting people. There are cameras. When you are arrested, you get to your house and you have a fine on your phone. You have to pay, or you go to court. So there are issues with the implementation of it. But it doesn't stop the fact that today the floor price has brought certain level of sanctity in the industry.
How?
Many people will jump the traffic light, but it doesn't make the policy a bad policy. So many people will price below the floor price, but does not make the price floor useless. As at Tuesday, the S-pump price we picked as a chamber showed that Star or Goil was not the lowest in the market. We had a company called Alinco who was below the floor price.
Alinco
as at
oil.
Tuesday. Yes. He was selling at 9.78 when the floor price was 9.8. Onisma was selling at the floor price exactly 9.8. And I didn't see any social media ad from them showing that theirs is lower, come and buy from me. So the story is not about I'm selling lower or I'm selling whatever. I like what Duncan said. There should always be fuel available, accessible, quality, and also affordable. Because if the fuel is available but not affordable, how am I going to purchase it? But if it's affordable but it's not available, how are you going to purchase it also? So the floor price was meant to make sure that the businesses are not collapsed. That's the availability that he's talking about.
How does a collapse come about?
Now, let me say this. So, somebody will be close to you, and he mentioned forgot to add the MGO, which thanks to the chamber and himself, we wrote to the Ministry of Finance to
What
take
is MGO?
That's the marine gas oil,
Okay.
which was highly discounted, or let me say not discounted, but not taxed.
And it plays the same role as which of the fuels?
That's AGO. Marine
So
gas
it plays the
oil
same role-
is
so it plays the same role
just
as
as
diesel.
AGO.
Okay.
It's just for marine purposes.
Yeah, I mean, but it can be used for what? Diesel. It can
Yeah,
be
it's diesel.
Okay.
So it was coming to the stations diverted. So the question is, if someone was picking an MGO, which was not taxed as the other components of, as other fuels, and drops his price, and he's close to you, you that have gone to the market to buy at the right price. What happened was that most of the members were being forced to also bring their prices down so they could also sell. What happened was that 2013, and I came to see the debt list at GRA and MPA, which are still fighting for our members to pay, because it ate into their taxes or their own margins. So they intended owing the government in terms of taxes. Businesses were being destroyed. Remember, they've gone for bank loans to pump into the business. So MP thought it wise with the industry that time that, okay, then let's bring a floor price. So it will not even motivate you to go and even take an MGO into your station. And that's why I like what he said, that it's not necessarily that someone is selling the fuel at cheaper price then is adulterated. You can buy fuel at a very expensive price and it might be adulterated also. Or you can even have water in it due to technical issues. So let's debunk that. So the myth around floor price is preventing fuel price to go down is wrong. Now let me take you through this particular selling price window. I'll give you a copy. Mm-hmm. We've gone around the market and we've picked the averages at which the BDCs are selling.
BDCs?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's 5.75. The average is 5.75.
As of this month?
As of this window.
Okay.
If you add the taxes which are compulsory, which is 4.27 for diesel, for petrol,
it takes you to
10.10. Mm-hmm. If you bought this fuel, this is the average. If you bought this fuel at 5.75 and you added your taxes which are compulsory and it gives you 10.10, tell me how you can sell below this price.
I'm coming. No, apart from that, I'm trying to help you. So right now, what we are doing is we are filling up a liter of fuel with its prices. Mm-hmm. So it starts with 5 what? The average is of
5.75.
So you buy it from the BDC. That's the one who imports.
Yes.
Then government taxes. You can't do anything. You have to add. So it takes you 10.10. What else do you have to add? That's it?
No, that's not it. Because remember, we have not added demurrage, which happens as and when. Today, because of Lakan issue, I don't know which BDC can import without paying the demurrage.
Okay.
Is that way? Now, secondly, the BDC's operational cost or margin is not there. OMC's and dealers' margins are also not there. These three major components are not there.
If you added all of those, what would it amount to? Or what would be the basic?
No, you see, it also...
But they are set margins, are they not?
No, so that part is what is deregulated.
Okay.
That part is what the regulation is saying, that your margin, you can give everything out.
So minimum
But
is 10.10.
We are making it look like as if the taxes on the component, on the product is okay. 4.27, take this 4.27 out of it. Then you can sell this fuel as below as you want.
I'm just trying to understand something. So the minimum, if you were to go by the rules, is 10.10.
That's what it's here.
How come then that...
What is the floor price?
How come then that the floor price is below that? Why don't we do the floor price to be coterminous with this standard price?
So the floor price does not add certain variables because they vary. The premium, for example, it varies based on where you're buying your fuel from.
Okay.
Some are getting high premium based on your risk, company risk, or wherever you're getting your product from. Your Bidex cost also has an MPA factor that you pay per ton to MPA, which you can't take it out. Your own profit margin is also there, you can take it out. The same way the OMCs, your marketer's margin and your dealer margin is there. You understand? Which must be added. Today, if you pick Super, which is 9.8, which is the floor price, MPA is that this is a cost. This is a cost price. Based on the plat price, we all have view of. It's not rocket science. If you know if you can determine the plat price, the minimum, the lowest, everywhere. Then if you add the taxes which are compulsory, it is not ideal. It's not possible to sell below 9.8.
Currently, Star Oil is doing below that. You've mentioned Alinco.
No, Star Oil is not doing below that. Star Oil
I'm saying they are doing below 10.10.
No, so the floor price here is 9.8.
Not the floor price. I'm talking about, I'm working with the calculation you started where the BDC price plus the taxes takes you to 10.10.
That's the market price of the BDC.
So,
but remember, if you go to the floor price stipulation or calculation, the SREF for the BDC is 5.22.
No, my interest is on the
Because
calculation
you
we
can
just...
get
No, I want to ask a question. Alinco is below 10.10. You've mentioned another one.
I beg you, please.
No, just a second. No.
You
I haven't introduced
you.
you.
You can
No.
say 10.10. Just for
10.10, yes. Thank you. That is a grammatical correction, which...
It's a mathematical not a grammatical one.
No, I'm saying that I appreciate you as my senior from Tema Secondary. I wasn't in class the day they taught. When they were teaching decimal points, I wasn't in class. So, yeah, so that's fine. Thank you so much. Senor is a problem. So, Dr. Riverson, 10.10, that is... if you were to go by the calculation, and I'm saying that Alinco and there's another company you mentioned.
A lot of them are below.
And Star and I think they are doing. So I'm saying that does it mean then that if you sell below 10.10, you are using fuel that you did not get through approved goods?
No, I've already established that is not the case.
Okay.
You heard me say that. Yeah.
Yes, but
and to support
because I'm wondering why you reduce, because that means you are selling at a loss.
This is an average because I am using 5.75 here, but the lowest is 5.5.
Okay.
You can get at 5.5.
Okay.
So that'll bring them. That's why I was taking you back to the floor price, which use the minimum without the industrial cost.
So we should work with the floor price,
which is 5.22.
Is the floor price binding by law? If you breach it, does anything happen to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So today, that's where the problem is. The implementation of it is an issue. And that's why I brought in the traffic light scenario. If I jam the traffic light and unfortunately today a police arrests me, it's an offense. But I use the case of Europe where cameras are there and they'll bring you your fine at home. So what should MPA or what can MPA do to help the industry to make sure that this beautiful system would work.
Okay.
So that it will bring fairness
Okay.
to those who can also price lower,
Okay.
but they're not pricing lower.
Okay.
This is the argument today.
Duncan, you want to make an intervention before I go to Senor?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think, what's the international best practice?
Do they
International
have
best practice in terms of price ceiling? What's the international best practice?
International best practice is
Just
either
to guide
no. When you go to Cote d'Ivoire, it's still regulated.
It's regulated, not deregulated.
It's
No,
not
but
for I'm coming.
for deregulated
capitalist
places.
markets,
Yes.
like
It's regulated.
like in the US,
Yeah.
it is not regulated.
It isn't
so
regulated.
just-
Okay,
Yeah.
Duncan, you come through with your
So, Sandra, what I was trying to intervene for is to say that certain assumptions are being made. The assumptions may not always be correct. Okay? You do average pricing for a period, a 2-week window. It does not, however, mean that my stock levels are procured within that particular 2-week window. So the assumption of average BDC prices today being
Okay.
5.7.
Okay.
A week or two ago, it was 5.3, 5.4. Previously, it could have been even a bit lower.
So you may benefit
Right.
from a windfall.
I may be benefiting from products that I bought a month ago or 2 months ago.
Okay.
But we all know
Right.
that fuel price have been coming down. So if you bought it 2 weeks ago, it was higher
It should
than
be
today.
more expensive.
Please.
That's,
Okay.
No, you see,
Okay, not
you-
not necessarily relating to
you-
this.
if you say
It's been
if you
coming
say
down.
it's rather gone up for this window.
This
For this
window-
particular window, the prices you are quoting are higher than what it was last week. And I can put this on record.
Okay.
So if I bought products last week and you set your floor prices based on what you have this week, my numbers would not tally with yours. And I'm saying this again. If I bought product, Senor, Seaboard, he's done so much work. If I buy from Senor, right, at the time that the exchange conversion to me, I buy 10 million worth of product from, let's say he's a BDC or Sharaf is a BDC. I buy product from him at the time the city was trading at 12, right? $10 million worth of cargo. That's what he sold to me. I was to pay about 120 million eventually. If I go back today and the dollar is now about 10.4 because of autoforcing and whatever magic, what it means is that I may require lesser to offset that cargo. So even at the BDC level, when they introduced the floor price, they said no, they would not accept it because they can trade on their own terms and be more efficient without you coming to dictate prices for them.
Okay.
But we come to the OMC and we say that, look, indeed, everybody must have bought product. That's why I said the underlying assumptions could be factually inaccurate.
Okay.
Somebody could have bought a product a month ago,
Okay.
could have gotten it cheaper because he went to pay cash, could have gotten it cheaper because of trade terms he has with the BDC.
The BDC.
He
Okay.
needs to sell. He
So-
says he wants to go down. And you say, no, the averages we have for a particular window should be 9.8. If my variables takes me to 9.7 something as
I'll
Alinko
go
has
ahead
done,
and do.
you should allow me to do it.
Okay.
For the benefit of the
I
consumer.
think I'll come back and ask all
Thank
of you
you.
around the table whether we should maintain floor price or not. Let me bring in Senor. Senor Hosi used to be the CEO of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. He finished Tema Secondary School in 1997. He currently heads Cleve and Tove. He is an economic policy analyst. Senor, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Umaru. I am well, and good morning, Your Excellency. Happy New Year, and please, where are the kingpins? Maraku, kingpins are Ore.
Which of the excellencies
Indeed
are you
now.
talking to?
Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Good morning. Indina Olo, Maraku, kingpins are Ode.
What does that mean?
Where are the Galamsey kingpins? We are waiting for them.
But why are you asking? Why are you asking him?
He promised us that he will go for kingpins. So the Galamsey fight, it hasn't stopped till we get the kingpins. 1 year has passed, clean.
Okay.
No kingpin.
Okay.
And please, boys, the wood to me is not part of the
Dr.
kingpins.
Sharif will send a
He's the
message.
king of the kingpins. We have dealt with that one already. We identified it and flagged it. So he should tell us, and they are in court, so they should resolve that.
Okay.
The kingpins that he has come to identify, outside of the wound to me that we had alleged that he was based on the
that's a
evidence that
capital
we had.
kingpin.
You said
maybe that's the capital kingpin.
no,
That's
no,
the
no,
end
no,
of the
no.
kingpin.
Then what kingpin? Because we
No,
had
that's the floor price
no,
of the kingpin.
We had already done the. We had already done. As you can see, we are doing above the floor price. So we don't want floor price. Floor price, we set it ourselves.
Okay.
So this one.
Maybe voluntarily you can help.
No, we can't. He's
can help
he's
submit
the
some names
commander
to
in chief. He has more access to information,
help
to
the commander in
intelligence,
chief.
more than anybody here.
No, Senor,
So
but if you have
please,
information, you
if
can
you
give the
have
president.
information supplied to
Honorable John
to the
Dramani
president,
Mahama.
and he
Yeah,
No,
don't
His
talk,
Excellency.
Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, don't your uncle. Maraku, keep peace awode.
Okay. Sharif, please, when you go, tell the vice president to go and ask the president. You cannot answer this, so I will not ask you to answer.
Well, but we would need the general public to help as well if they have.
My brother, don't bring yourself. This morning, there you are my friend. I want to keep that friendship nice. Don't start. Please.
Senor, why are you bullying the man?
He's a nice guy, so I don't know why he's leading me into temptation.
But he wants to say that you should offer information when you have. That one, there's nothing wrong. See something, say something.
I'm saying where we are,
Yes.
they are seeing everything.
Okay.
They should bring the kingpins.
No problem. Senor Hosi.
In any case, have we asked what is happening to that MP, that the president, and I went to sing and clap for John Mahama on Joy FM, on Joy TV or Joy News, whichever it is. The MP that was arrested or something. You remember? The one who went. Where is the state? What is the status? You, these media people, will start and they will run away. Every day I'm moving to another new matter. Then the real matters, we are forgetting them. Where is that MP? What is the status of the case? We don't know.
I'm not the president of GGA, so
I'm saying that no, you should. You at CTFM should take a serious interest. Duncan, where are you? You said I was here when I was not here. Duncan should go and look into the matter.
So that there doesn't
Not this Duncan. There's one Duncan at your back there. I told him I'll give to him small here. So
Senor Hosi,
I have to
you were BDC boss from what? Which year?
I ran that place for 10 years. I've been an advisor to the Ministry of Energy for almost the same.
So you know how the floor price thing came about?
8 or 9 years, yes.
You know how deregulation came and you know how floor pricing came. It looks to me as if we deregulated, then we tied the deregulation with our handcuffs. That's how it looks to me with the floor pricing thing.
No. It's good to hear my brother speak. There's been a lot of life that has gone on around this.
Life or lies?
Life.
Ah, okay.
That has gone on around this that sometimes we possibly may miss and take a bit out of context. The deregulation, we were at the heart of it really happening. And I really need to thank Honorable Moses Asaga for the work he did in the 11th hour and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It was a very difficult call. They sometimes feel I twisted them into that entire process, but it was a necessary call. Otherwise, this country would have been brought to its knees. And thankfully, since then, there's been relative product stability. Having mentioned that, we still have to commend the likes of John Atefa, who also initiated this deregulation process with the formation of the MP in 2004. The likes of Alex Mould, fantastic executives who have contributed to the journey that we have come to see. Through these, with the likes of Aitego and Dan Amwa, Esther Anku and co. These are heroes of the industry who today everybody easily forgets.
Mustafa Hamid.
He wasn't part of that process.
Okay.
All this was done before.
Okay, he's a latter day.
They are all latter-day saints in the matter. It was a very difficult fight, trying to get government to do this. The journey started sometime in 1996, where deregulation has been an unfolding process. We tried to restructure pricing. We moved from cost plus, that toll used to run, to try to move to an import parity model, give birth to an infrastructure deregulation to allow private sector to start owning infrastructure. 1998 thereabout, we allowed private indigenous Ghanaians also to get active into the entire space. We had the likes of Glory Oil, I think, being the first coming in as an indigenous player outside of the oil that Ghana Oil, I think we previously knew. Things have evolved. Deregulation doesn't mean no regulation. It's the commercial part that we needed to deregulate, and we moved the process. First, we had to wait for one of my mentors of life, my models of life, Kwesi Boche. We used to wait for him to come and announce petroleum prices. Do you remember?
As finance minister?
Yeah, as finance minister, he has to announce it in a budget. And he may do it once for the whole year.
Okay, so that announcement was it?
That was it, till he comes to announce again, and that created a lot of fiscal problems for us. But we went, and the deregulation process included modifying some of those things, and also even the models for it. So it's been a journey. A lot of people have contributed to this journey, and deregulation doesn't mean no regulation. The industry will have to be regulated. So, pricing. When we were developing the framework for petroleum deregulation, what we were clear on was to still work with the unique parameters of our culture and our economic situation. So, to answer Sharaf's, Sharif or Sharaf?
Sharif.
Sharif, right?
Sharaf is the president's son.
Yes, Sharif. I don't know why somebody said Sharaf. I got confused.
No, well, I mean, the people interchange them. I don't really, I'm not fascinated.
I mean, like you want to be the president's son now.
He wants to organize boxing tournaments.
Sharaf is a very fine gentleman. I think his boxing organization work should be supported by all us. Boxing was dying.
Yet you're attacking
no, that is a different matter.
You go back,
I
go
don't
back
attack
the
father in his person, but I attack him in his office.
Okay,
it's the office that can help us solve the things. The office that promised that. So we want the office. King peace, would they? So back to my matter.
Because you just celebrated Sharif.
Sharif, I have to celebrate that. I'm so proud of what he has done. He's brought hope to the industry.
But there are people on social
meaning
media
to lives that have had aspirations in that regard.
There are people on social media who are saying when Nana Akufo-Addo's daughters were engaging in entrepreneurial business, they were being attacked.
I don't think any of this has to do with the idea of anybody getting entrepreneurial. No. Sharaf was doing this before he actually became, his father became president. You remember? And it's taken a lot. That young man needs support. He's not doing something that's just for himself. It's something that's transforming an industry. We should support Sharaf.
Okay, let's go back to fuel deregulation.
I mean, but for what Sharaf is doing, it's like the GBA was almost dead. Why are we talking as if we don't know? My distant uncle is Azuma Nelson, just for the record. So I have a certain sensitivity about boxing.
You have Bulsa from San
for me, my race, I'm proper, of course, multicast.
Let's come back. I keep edging you on, but let's come back. Yeah. So let's come back.
So
you're saying that deregulation does not mean no regulation?
Deregulation does not mean no regulation. And so, Sharif, the idea of best practice, effectively, from a policy perspective, there are learnings to be taken from other people, but hardly any best practice. It has to be unique to the particular economy and the complexities around the economy. So you have to look at what's optimal, all right? And there are incentives for everything. Iran has a different policy, Nigeria has a different policy. Nigeria's policy may not be sustainable. That is why you say, let's look at practices that have been optimal relative to your unique circumstance. We have something called the UPPF. That is the Unified Petroleum Price Fund. That facilitates keeping prices the same across the country. There's a reason for it. All right? America doesn't need that. America can understand that prices were far off petroleum production places would be highly priced because that economy has also other incentives that the southern side may not have. So everything sorts of balances out neatly. In Ghana, we don't have that problem. We don't have that situation. The northern sector was a heavily deprived, highly poor, economy. And fuel was not just an economic good, it was a socio-economic good. So its implications for that economy was dire. So you don't make them necessarily end up paying maybe 20% more when even by paying the 100% is a problem. So we found a way to even that out. Maybe times are changing, so sometimes we may have to look at some things. Yeah, but every particular circumstance was unique for a particular time. And sometimes maybe optimal, sometimes suboptimal. All right? We have a local content policy now. Sure. We couldn't have had that local content policy at a certain time. The country would have died. We wouldn't be able to thrive. All right? So things evolve, and things must adapt flexibly in policy for optimal impact for the good of all and sundry. We're here to serve. So when we did the deregulation, pricing was a critical thing. I remember His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he was very livid and scared. He even said he opened the door. The truth of the matter is that maybe we should confess today. We did the president a little 419. As in, we set a date that was, we told him we're setting the date, and that date, we didn't do that day. But he thought we had done the date. So he was wondering whether the next day there'll be some aluta on the street or not.
Deception of a public
we didn't willfully deceive him, but at the end of the day, we sort of managed the information. So because the next window was going to be lower. So when we move it, any kind of shock would not feel like the time the president had actually signed off. So
this was 2015.
This was, Your Excellency, please, as part of those who were part of it, I'm sorry. But still the kingpins. Okay. You know, and the president did well. It was hard. It was a hard decision. No president has been able to take that decision since we took over during our champion days. No.
The deregulation.
Nobody, commercial part, the pricing part, nobody.
So it was a bold move.
It was it's the boldest move
for the sector.
The boldest, in my opinion, economic move John Mahama did in his first term.
And we've benefited as a country.
Absolutely. But we have not optimized the benefit.
Okay.
In Ghana, our reaction to things is a problem. When we get some, then we just try and create a new problem. That's what we stand.
So we started the deregulation in 2015. We've been managing it, and then we decided to do an audit, and that's when we decided to bring the price floor.
No. All right, this price floor matter has a history. Let me situate it properly. When we did the pricing structure for the deregulation, everybody was supposed to still keep prices the same across within your company, you don't have Accra price separate from Tamale price.
For the same company?
For the same company.
Okay.
All right. So that was the first thing we put in place. But every price that you put out there, you must first of all file it with the MPA.
Okay.
All right.
So you need approval?
Not
information for their information?
Because they have a responsibility to monitor.
Okay.
I got into the MPA Act as binding today. Okay. So you have a responsibility to monitor. So you must report and make sure they see it. They also have a certain responsibility to evaluate and also assess the reasonability of it. You understand? And so that was how we structured.
So this was pre-2024?
This was pre-2024. You know, 2024 just came to formalize something that was lacking a bit in the background in some form. There were conversations, there were consents. Prices, contrary to what His Excellency the President was worried about, that prices would go up. I had to take time to let him know that BDCs are not one company. Senior C is not BDC. It's a number of companies who are competing, trying to eat themselves up every day. We are so competitive that even when there was regulated pricing, BDCs go around and start undercutting themselves, giving people discounts. I remember Alex Mode calling us one morning and saying that they were going to revise the regulated pricing framework for BDCs, reduce it by $10, because he hears that we are giving $10 discounts per ton everywhere. So we might as well give it to the public officially. Then we all rallied, giddy, we have stopped. People came, no, we cannot do that, because if we do this $10, guess what happens? After the meeting, because Duncan wants Riversing's customers, he goes to Riversing's customers and say, you know what, Riversing will come and tell you that they are not going to do discounts again. But me, I'll give it to you, but I won't do it on the front. I'll quietly pass it, all right? So you will leave Riversing and come to me. So Riversing will go and say that, oh, now the discounts we cannot give you again. Then the OMC will move the letter and show that, you know, Duncan just left here. He said that he'll give it to me. So if you don't give it to me, I'm going to Duncan. Then suddenly Riversing will come, me, I'll still give it to you. Please, I've changed. I will give it to you.
So OMCs were playing BDCs?
They were playing them. So that kind of discount thing and try to find ways to cut down does not work. You cannot unitize the problem. The people are too hungry to kill each other for them to unite over any single matter.
Should we have a price floor for BDCs?
We'll get there. There is.
For the BDCs, they have also...
Right now, the framework they have, there is.
Okay.
It's a floor.
It's not just OMCs. The OMCs are just off-takers of the floor that you have from BDCs.
Okay. So it's a ripple effect.
The problem really was there. And I'll just take you back to school a bit. And as a former lecturer on this particular subject matter, you have to understand where policy sits as far as fuel downstream fuel operations regulations, there are 4 cardinal things. One is supply, the other is safety, quality, and also pricing. These are the 4 cardinal points of regulation at any point in time. The foremost thing is to assure supply. All right? What you don't want is a low price without products. What you don't want is a low price with suboptimal quality that destroys the public. Because there's a responsibility to protect the public. You know, so these are the 4 things that really guide you. And you need to make sure that quality too is within a certain framework that's sustainable for an economy and also for the aspirations of a country. All these things really define how policy decisions should be made. So it is not just commercial. It is not just price. Everything comes together to make sure you sustain policy effectiveness for the economy. Let's take the MPA Act as is today. There are clear objects for which this act was born. I take the MPA Act 691, yeah? So we take clause 2. 2.1, the object of the authority is to regulate, oversee, and monitor activities in the petroleum downstream industry, and where applicable, do so in pursuance of the prescribed petroleum pricing formula. To achieve the object, the authority shall monitor ceilings on the price of petroleum products in accordance with the prescribed petroleum pricing formula. Very right. You remember there was a reference in 1 that where applicable, it should do so in pursuance of the prescribed petroleum pricing formula. And here it talks about monitoring ceilings, not floors. All right, so but it all gets interesting as you go on. I move to D. Provide guidelines for petroleum marketing operations. E. Protect the interests of consumers and petroleum service providers. You must manage the interests of both people. It also talks about promoting fair competition amongst petroleum service providers, fair competition amongst them. Conduct studies relating to the economy, efficiency, and effectiveness of the petroleum downstream industry. It is a complex responsibility. They must ensure fair competition. They must protect the interests of consumers and also the interests of service providers. Because if you don't manage the service providers well, their products may not actually be available for consumers to also be protected. So we often make some wrong assumption in thinking that it's only just about the consumers and what's
it's both ways.
So
the regulator plays a fair balance.
A balance around things.
Okay.
So if to promote fair competition requires a floor price, it would have to look for guidelines to support that.
Okay.
It has a responsibility, as indicated, to provide guidelines for petroleum marketing operations. Petroleum marketing operations include the pricing by the petroleum marketing operatives, which are BDCs, OMCs, and people practically in the whole supply chain.
So, Senor, this is why the NPA has been mute on whether or not to reduce the floor price, because they are protecting the interests of the provider as much as they are protecting the interests of the customer.
They have to do both. So we come to where and why we actually got to this idea of a price floor. So BDCs were the first group of people deciding to kill themselves. I have not seen a bunch of educated people who decide to be so uneducated.
Why are you attacking your own members?
Oh, it's a fact. It's not, I don't do
but
this.
these are your people. They are
No. But they themselves, they say it.
Yeah, but you're former CEO.
And so
protect them. That's your duty.
Well, yeah, I tell them.
Fiduciary.
No, don't worry. When I was sitting there, I told them themselves directly in their face. So I don't have a problem saying anyway. They know.
So they are cannibalizing.
The people who play this the MBA holding, landing school, Harvard school students are with all due respect.
It's okay.
It's the Zamrama OMC people who played them like Chaskele.
It's okay.
And what they were doing was endangering their ability to sustain supply, and not even just that, destroying the financial system.
So that's BDC. Let's come to OMCs.
You relax.
I don't have a lot of time for you.
You decided to ask a teacher to come here.
No.
So you will get lessons.
Put your chalk down.
That one, I'm not going to do social commentary.
Yes.
I'm a professional in this matter. I'm a teacher. Your predecessor was my student. All right? Yes. In fact, the former MPA CEO was my student. Yes. And the current MPA CEO was my student.
Back on track.
So I have to teach properly.
Back on track.
What you have is a need to ensure economic sanctity for the sector. Yeah. If you don't, you run down the Ghana's financial system. The banking crisis we had, there were reckless acts by banks, but a good part of it was a function of the BDCs. We would have actually had a banking crisis sometime in 2016. But for the likes of the former governor, Nasiru Isaku and John Dramani Mahama, and we don't celebrate this man enough, Emisata. But for them, who put their foot down and identified it and made sure that the petroleum and the energy sector could insulate, could respond to policies to insulate the financial sector from crashing because of this downstream sector, which is the BDCs and also the power sector at the same time. That's how come ESLA was born. I ideated it.
Then
I led that ideation of it.
Setekpe.
Yes, Setekpe as well. He was fighting it, but eventually he came around and he facilitated it very well, and we are grateful to him. All right, so there is a relationship between petroleum and the economy in a very deep manner. Outside of inflation, outside of all those macroeconomics, actual financial sustainability of the economy. So you can't say you guys keep doing whatever you want. When you do whatever you want and soon most of you crash, then it has a rippling effect on the financial system and has an effect again on the fiscal system and becomes more expensive for all of us. Then the other part.
Yes.
When people start fighting and having price wars, they don't have these price wars because they are just looking at economic sustainability in the long term. What they are often looking at, Duncan has reduced his price, hoping to get Riversins customers now. But Duncan so stupidly, respectfully, not that you in person, I'm just using we'll be thinking that, oh, if I get Riversins customers today, they'll be my customers forever.
No, they can go back.
They will just go back. There's no loyalty in this matter.
So, Senor,
so let me tell you what happens. Now, if Duncan is running his business and Rivers is running his business, and Duncan has played that smart move, and he's losing his customers, and he thinks that he can't make so much losses, then people start getting creative, doing illegal stuff, trying to evade taxes, trying to now bring in suboptimal products, smuggled products.
So that they can keep up.
Again, when those that they can keep up, what happens? You are not protecting the consumer. Okay. The consumer is going to be suffering.
Okay.
The government itself is economically suffering.
Okay.
All right. Then when he sees that, Duncan say, I want to do my things properly by just giving an economic incentive. You are now booking me as a fool. Okay. I will also do some. What happens now is that illegality proliferates.
Let me ask you one question before I move on from you. Tieku of Star Oil.
Yes.
Edward Bauer of Goya.
Yeah.
They appear to be the two engaging in the price wars on social
There's
media.
No price
the
wars.
breakfast and all of that.
They're all doing
question,
cosmetics.
if you had them sitting in front of you watching you now, what should they do? What must happen in the space? Because others may join.
Look, honestly, I've spoken to Tieku. I'm not too sure what... I want to believe that he's been misunderstood. That's what I want to believe because
he said that they want the price floor taken away so he can go further down.
Look, take out the price floor. Would he have gone down? He has a price floor today. He has never sold up to the price floor.
You mean below?
He hasn't sold there below the price floor or even matched the price. No,
he's above it.
Never.
Okay.
He's always above it. You understand? Gold is also always above it.
But they're adding breakfast.
So you can create other incentives. That's a different matter. You know, so I'm saying that is what I think he wanted to say when I had a chat with him was that there are intertemporal opportunities to respond to price changes. For example, Last year, we had FX moving down quite quickly. When it happens so quickly within a week, your prices should be able to also adjust if there's a benefit, because there's a benefit. The BDC's price ultimately in dollars, they convert it in cedis at an exchange rate. So if the FX rate has come down, MPA has priced it for 2 weeks. The price floor is for 2 weeks, all right? So in between time, if there's any benefit that could have gone to consumers, they cannot extend it.
It's too early. It's too sudden.
That is the matter that I think Philip was referring to.
Very well.
He wasn't referring to the fact that this entire thing, no. But there are other issues that you can find relevance in a review of it. Do we really narrow the time so that it becomes more responsive to changes on the international market, on the macroeconomic space? That is a relevant conversation. But what this price floor has done has been able to facilitate economic sanctity. The MPA has to go another step further to give economic assurance, which becomes a different conversation.
I'll come back around and ask what the MPA should do now in what appears to be the war, and what should we do with the price floor thing. I would ask you a question when I come around. I want to bring Khalid, but I want to make a quick intervention, Duncan, before I go in.
Very quickly.
What I
wanted to say is this. If you talk of a deregulated market, you would expect the market to evolve. Any attempt to intervene by way of certain floors without considering a ceiling, to me, is anarchist. You are simply allowing others to sell at any rate they want. And in fact, I've used the big three in the past. There were windows that per hour checks, right, with average BDC prices, taxes, margins. Sometimes their prices were overshot by 50 pesos to 1 Ghana.
So properly define the bracket.
So if you need to define a ceiling, a floor, define a ceiling also. So that they can play within. But where you allow one side, right, they can sell at any price they want. But if somebody says that within a window, if you left the floor open, I could go down further, and you say that no, you have not gone to the floor itself, so you cannot go down. So I have left the floor. Alinco has showed you
that they can go
per this window that they can go.
Let me just give some guidance.
People don't want to hear from Khalid.
No, it doesn't matter. He's an economic.
I'm learning.
You see, one of the things that has happened in the industry is Duncan. Great intervention. He has given representation to people who had no seat at the table. So Duncan, congratulations. How you sustained it, I always look at you in awe. I mean, it's somebody that we really need to appreciate for in this. He's done a great job. Again, you've forgotten a bit. Part of your advocacy, when we were starting this, when you got involved and you came to my office, we all engaged this thing, was the same thing you are saying. So in the monetary, before we came to official price floors, we said when the complaints were coming, was for us to now, was always the ceiling right from day one. And I mean, we went through that process. You were part of that advocacy. So they don't publish a ceiling, but the ceiling sits at MPA.
So there's a ceiling?
There is a ceiling.
What is it currently?
Why don't you publish that?
No, they don't have a need to.
Okay, but what is it?
No, I'm just telling you, so you just know.
No problem, but we know the floor. What is the ceiling?
I don't have the ceiling for today, but
what was the last one?
Before I left,
if you say there's a ceiling, we have to.
No, it's a policy matter. So it's not a matter of giving you action. I call MP and ask them. I'm just telling you that there is always a
MPA didn't tell us that there's a ceiling.
I'm just telling you. Look at the act.
Okay.
It's not like this.
Maybe they haven't implemented it.
No, Robertson says it's there. Maybe he knows.
No, it says in the law, but it's one thing being in the law.
I'm just telling you.
So it's one thing having the thing in the law, another thing having it. So it's possible that it's not there.
I was in there.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, while I was there, we had ceilings.
You left many years ago.
Oh, that's what 3.5 years ago.
Senior used to publish those ones. Your maximum indicative.
Your
maximum indicative.
I used to do that.
Yes, you used to do that
for industry.
Yes.
But the MPA, we all had set estimated margins. We have consultations with the OMCs.
Now some go above the margin. Now some of them go above the margin.
It's okay. Hold on.
It's okay. Leave the debate for me. I'll come back. This is.
Let me wrap this part up so that we all know.
Yes.
Let's not assume that because you have publicly held a floor, there are also no ceilings. That's what I want you to know.
Very well.
That in policy terms, when we did this price review, I was part of that pricing committee. We put a structure for ceilings. So when people go above it, they call you. Yeah. They will call you internally. Come and explain why. Yeah. You know, because if somebody's gone above it, doesn't mean the person is necessarily looting. Maybe the person has got a unique problem. You understand? FX has moved beyond what you have estimated. Or prices at the time I bought has moved. So I want you to know, and the public should know that MPA in policy, unless something has changed,
very well. Thank you, Senor.
Has a ceiling.
Lawyer Edwiji Kujo Tamaklo, Senor is just drawing attention to the fact that in your act, you're supposed to have a ceiling. Can you please tell us what that ceiling is? Publicize it, since I don't think it's against the law for you to publish. So we'll be waiting to hear from the NPA. Khalid, let me bring you in.
I would advise NPA to publish it anyway.
Why? But you used to publish it.
No, I did that.
Because you're a renegade.
I can do that.
Okay.
Now the reason is when you suggest you have price deregulated.
We want to know.
No, it's good to know. The moment you actually start publishing that, you send a different information to the market.
Very well.
Invariably reversing the idea of deregulation.
Let me hear. Let me hear. Okay. The three industry people. Gentlemen. Hello. Senor Riverson Duncan. Please hold on. No, I'll come to your side. Khalid, let's hear from gentlemen, let's hear from Prof. Khalid. No, I don't want to hear what you think now. Let me hear Khalid.
Getting access and publishing it.
No.
Okay, if you are publishing it,
yes,
you'll have the same effect as MP.
Okay, you leave it. You leave that. Let's talk about you. My question to you, Riverson.
That is true.
Riverson.
This was before the floor price.
Riverson. Gentlemen, I'll come back to you. When we're reviewing the floor price. Okay, you know what I'll do? If you people will not hear me, let me take a break. When I come back, this is the big issue on 97.3 CTFM on ChannelOne TV. When I come back, I'll hear from Prof. Khalid from the government side, and also Franklin Kujo, who is an advocate of a free market economy. Please stay with us. Yeah, welcome back. This is the big issue on 97.3 CTFM and ChannelOne television. I'm Umaru Sandamado in studio with a number of gurus in the fuel sector. I have an economic guru before me. I don't know whether he wants me to call him that. Franklin Kujo is joining me in a bit so that we'll talk about this deregulation, the price floor, and the issues of how much you pay at the pump. Prof. Khalid,
I'm still
as government person, for you, it's exciting that fuel prices are going down. Hooray, everybody is celebrating.
Very exciting.
But it appears to be a difficult balance where, yes, let the public enjoy, but also don't collapse the industry. That appears to be what I've picked from the discussion so far. What's your position?
Yeah, before I walked in studio, I think I was having a conversation with your producer, which ties into what Senor was saying when we talk about, and trying to undercut other players in the industry. But you don't keep those customers for a very long period of time, because you're telling me, if you look at the Star Oil scenario, that the guy sold X number of liters in a day, and I went like, but this is not sustainable. For the optics and the marketing of it, you can say that happened at a very specific period of time. But moving forward, are these customers that have come to stay? Possibly no. But you see, this is a very interesting thing. I was part of the build-up to all of this in terms I think 2014, 15 thereeabout. Okay. I remember during the time of Amabua, right, where we
You were at the energy ministry?
No, I wasn't at the energy ministry, but we played this auxiliary role because we were all scared about how the industry would take this. It was a big deal. So communicating it to the public was actually a problem, right? The BDCs, OMCs, the association, industry players were not very welcoming of it. It looked like they were going to clip their wings. Right, so it was a big deal in terms of, so I remember myself and current regional youth organizer Mustafa Idrisu, Western region, how we used to, together with Amabua, work around this in terms of communication purposes. That said, you see, we are in a market, our market, where we lack competition laws or regulations. When that happens, we tend to have powerful regulators. Very, very powerful regulators. So as to whether they are doing the right thing or the wrong thing, they become very powerful in the absence of competition law. Right? So that vacuum within a liberal market makes us become a bit regimented in regulatory processes, which have excesses in regulation. And this is what we begin to see. Right? The implementation of this has come and gone. Right? And rightly so, as everyone is agreeing on this table. It's been over a decade now. How are we beginning to tweak these things? What is the prevailing circumstance of the time? And I intentionally asked the question of best practice to see how we can guide ourselves moving forward. Right. So which begs the question of, are we really even practicing price floors in what is happening? Because if you look at the build-up, right, if you look at the forex that comes, what you call the key variables of it, and the rooms for margins, is this really floor pricing in practice of it, or in the practical sense of it? So this is where I think that industry players in all the engagements or the banters we've had to really rethink this, have some tinkering around it and see how we can guide ourselves in actually communicating or what to have in terms of practice. This is where the MPA and other regulators come in.
Can the NPA do this without making the government look bad? Because at the end of the day, you also want votes.
No, as a regulator, you're independent.
Mm-hmm. But you're appointed by the government.
Yeah, you're appointed by the government. Mm-hmm. So for me, government looking bad or good is neither here nor there if we are looking at real...
But for votes, right, you should be interested.
When it comes to regulation issues, votes are not part of it. We can go and do our politics all we can. But regulation, because again...
If your prices go up, they'll say Mahama.
Just not a vacuum of competition laws, right? Consumer protection is also another big issue when it comes to regulatory issues. And these key variables are absent in isolation, because in other jurisdictions or liberalized markets, you have them coexisting with very strong regulatory function. But here, the regulator becomes a one-stop shop for all of this that either arbitrary or discretionary applied, even though there is existence of the law. I could see Duncan and all of us struggling when we asked whether there was a ceiling. There could be a ceiling in the law, but if we are not seeing it in practical terms, then it begs that question. And when that happens and there tend to be regulatory void, even in communication, the spiral effect could be massive. And we're talking about this affecting economy. Look, fuel, it runs across the entire value chain of the economy. Massive, from food prices to the road network to transport. So that's why transport fares are like, especially in the absence of public transport, which makes this industry a big deal. So in actual sense, as Senor rightly say, it's a fulcrum of the economy, because you look at the BOG playing a critical role here. You look at the Energy Ministry and the Finance Ministry. And we've moved a long way, as we've all been revealed to, where you had a finance minister who used to stand before Parliament on a podium to announce fuel prices to where we are now. Yeah. So are we at a good spot? Maybe, maybe not.
What's your view on removing both the ceiling and the floor?
I don't think it is about my view of removing the ceiling and the floor. It's about my view of what is practical and fit for purpose, right? And the exigencies of the time.
So what is practical?
So what is practical? So we ask ourselves, we're actually practicing price floors, right? And yet we have a certain discretion of margins to play with. We have a certain discretions. But mind you, there's also a build-up to the road fund. I mean, the ex-refinery and, all of that ex-pump prices. So with that coming in the build-up to that, that is still an administrative point of view, and that is lauded in it, whether we don't have a say to that. So yes, because that is static. So is that a deregulated market? If you ask yourself.
So for you,
is that a deregulated market?
So it's a partly deregulated, or it's deregulated but with a few.
No, I mean it's a learning process.
No, gentlemen, I'm not asking you to come in here. I'll come to you.
The market is not deregulated. Okay. I'm just asking questions.
So it looks like it is, but it's not.
No, it is deregulated.
Okay.
I mean, we have deregulated.
But with shackles.
No, well, you may want to call
I'll come to you. I'll come to you, people, please. So, it's the turn of the handsome men to talk.
Yeah, and as you're moving on, this guy is very distracted. And as you move on, you tweak it. I mean, regulation is never static.
Thank you.
Regulation is never static. Right? It evolves over time. But then we have to ask ourselves, how old is the act? in and of itself. How old is what we've been doing and what has been happening in and around, and what could we change? You know, we have neighboring countries, and where we have problems with some of these sectors, again, where we have issues of smuggling happening in the next area. You look at the regime or the regulatory regime next door, Lomé, which is probably 3-hour drive from here, you know, Abidjan, right, by road or by air or whatever you get to. So we need to respond to what happens within these neighboring confines to see what also we could do to prevent some of these things. Is that happening? Maybe not.
This is what I think. So I think deregulation is working. What is not working is government agencies that operate at the port that ensure that you have the quality fuel in your tank and all of these. I think that is lacking.
No, why would we
and
say
that's
that?
why someone can choose to price lower than what everybody else should price.
No.
But if you can import cheaply, if you can import, if you can import cheaply, or you can divert what is meant to go to abroad and do it here, then you are allowed to. Then that will be the basis. In fact, the three of Duncan said I'm right. Listen, Senyo, you've not been fair to me. I'll come and give all of you 5 minutes each. I want.
That's quite dangerous.
No, I said it's an opinion.
Opinion.
Duncan agrees with me, and he represents consumers.
Absolutely correct.
When I come back, Senyo, when I come back, you respond. Let Khalid land.
I mean, for me, again, industry players help me here. This 2 weeks window, you know, of the regulator stepping in, and putting price in and out. You talk about old stock, you know, that still also creates room for certain dodgy stuff to be done. I mean, forgive my use of the word. So, but is that the right thing? Like, is it contemporary to still for a regulator to be stepping in every fortnight?
Very valid point.
To play that role.
When I come to them,
I want
when I come to them, then they'll answer. I want to go virtually.
Yes, so I'm just saying.
Prof,
yeah.
So I'm happy you've thrown the question. I don't want them to answer yet. I'll come back so that they answer. Let me go to Franklin Kujo.
Yes.
Franklin Kujo is president of Money Ghana, Africa. Franklin, you are a proponent of a free market economy. You, of course, would be happy to see the price was happening, aren't you? And I've even seen you on social media saying you'll be going to do circles to buy breakfast at the same fuel station buy fuel because they'll give you breakfast and all of that.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to my good friend. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Franklin.
All right. Well, listen, I am unashamedly proponent of the free market system, and I think it is actually the God-ordained way of actually marketing or dealing with, should I call it, product. You know the funny thing. Why don't we regulate the price of kinky? Why not regulate the price of gobe? You know, why are we not doing that? It's a very important question, and I think that for me.
Control, please put off Senyor's microphone. He's becoming a distraction. Franklin, please proceed. Franklin, please proceed.
All I see in all these what appears to be some sort of a war, it's actually healthy for the economy, and I think we should allow the conversation to travel. I have read a bit of I've spoken to a few of the industry players, and there's a major worry. You know, Sanda, when you started the program, you asked Dr. Riverson the question, how many OMCs are there? He mentioned about 200 something number. He probably should have followed up and asked him how many of them, percentage-wise, are responsible for, let's say, 70% or 71% of the market. They're just about 20.
Okay.
The rest, I won't call them Senkwas. Because, like Riverson suggested, there's no limit. Everybody is playing, and I think that's a perfect market economy that you want. Everybody should keep on playing, play a role.
So people will see their smoothness levels.
How then do you assume that some higher authority, which my favorite economist, Frederick von Hayek, would call central planners, think that they have all the knowledge and information in the world, and so they want to plan the pricing, they want to dictate pricing. I don't even understand. These are different companies with different strengths that have been allowed to operate. Why haven't we said that, okay, there are too many, so cut them off? Are you getting the point? So if those who have skill, right, there's 20-something of them who have skill, can decide that, look, even if because I have skill, I can decide at some point if the forex is working for me well, I'd rather reduce the price and go below some fictitious price floor. I don't even get it. So Tieko and the rest are screaming, look, I think that the fundamentals are good for me. I've invested in a system that can let me assess and determine that, look, at this point, I can enter the market, intervene in the market, and reduce the pricing. These are all tools that individual companies have to develop. You see, the whole idea to suggest that because we are all equal in an economy, in a market oil economy, we should all think and price the same, is actually defeatist. Defeatist intellectually. Because what it tells us is that if I invest in a system that can monitor the excesses of my business, make sure that I sell quality fuel, and I can scale and then adequately intervene and reduce.
Hello, Franklin. I think to come back in studio. I'm going to allow you all to wrap up. I'm going to give you 2 minutes each, and I'm going to time you. So, Duncan first, 2 minutes.
I thought you would take it to upon.
Oh, you want me to start with
Don't worry.
Okay, who wants to start first?
I'll take my.
Are you not all?
I'll take.
You heard Senor say that they bite each other.
No, you see, when we bite ourselves, he's happy.
Actually, no. I want Duncan to speak last because he represents consumers.
Thank you, Sander.
Senor first.
Oh, but. Upon first.
Upon first. Riverson, okay, you are the sellers.
No problem. Yeah. So I'll start, you can come on.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes.
He's obviously happy. Every consumer wants a good product. And we started this conversation and he himself started it, that it's not only about affordability, also availability. And I'm happy Senor also came to emphasize that particular point. And this is what we call sustainability. Accessibility, availability, and affordability, the 3 A's that I always talk about in economics of product. So, the question here is that, are we there? No, we're not there 100%. There are still issues that we need to solve. MPA as a regulator still has to do a lot to support the industry. Quality versus price is a subject matter for the industry to decide, because the market today is not so released that you can just bring any quack product. But the issue has to be, for example, we had GRA come say that they had impounded 10 trucks. Today, where are the 10 trucks? Has that illegal and illicit operations stopped? They are still ongoing. Centio is loading products in the name of national security and giving it out everywhere.
What I think, Centio is a proper company that we know.
Okay, you leave it there. You give me 2 minutes. So you let me finish my point before you cut me off.
Yeah,
now the license regime.
Hold on. I have to come in. So
no, it's not Centio itself. It's just being loaded.
Okay.
License regimes. And I remember when Bloomberg visited my office, and out of the presentation, we mentioned that we had 230 oil marketing companies, and they asked, is it the whole of Africa? I said, no, it's Ghana alone. They were laughing. We are laughing cow. So for me, I'll still be shocked to see MPA release new OMCs and new BDCs. Look at the price what we are having.
So we shouldn't license more?
To do what? What is, like Franklin just said, what is it there that this 229 are not doing that we need new people?
You are sitting on business.
So you see, this sort of free market, you are using is not.
Why quoting free market in the air? You don't want free market.
So you have 1,000 OMCs. Is that what we want?
You don't want that. We have 1,000 watch vendors.
You can ask.
I think I'll take my turn now.
No,
I'm not done.
Don't let him down.
Then the next point has
to
do
wait.
with,
So let me be sure. Riverson, you don't want more OMCs licensed.
Let's have stringent, policy set for the acquisition of the license.
Okay.
The minimum requirement is 7 stations. Can you break even with 7 stations today? Let's do the economics. Not talk about someone who has 5 stations and they're selling. Now,
what is your fear?
Do you know what we saw? We saw recently someone with 6 stations loading or selling the same amount of the likes of Allied with more than 50 stations.
Not fair.
It's not fair. Where are they taking the product?
Where is their money from?
It's not the money. Where's the product going to?
Yes, that's but also where's the money to do the capital injection? Where's the coming from?
But you know,
Riverson, you gave your time to Senyo.
Well,
no. I said no. I didn't say. I said maybe it's
sponsoring them. Then land. I have 30 seconds.
Then you said Senyo maybe it's sponsoring them. Yeah. So repeat.
Senyo is so broke.
So I'm coming to the monitoring.
He's leveling you a petroleum campaign.
No, is it a god for that? It's a god for that now. So monitoring is key. That's the next point. Monitoring, because I've not seen any policy we have that is 100% fairly regulated.
Okay.
I can't point one. He mentioned UPPF. There are issues with UPPF. Floor price, there are issues. So we need to have this discussion with the regulator and the government to make sure that we have stringent portfolios that will make the industry sanitize itself. Okay. Once all this is set, this floor price will be a secondary matter. And the last point is the window.
Agree.
Well,
so
the window has come up. We have seen countries that come to announce their windows once in every 2 months. We have seen once every month. We are not in that economy to be pricing every day.
Okay.
In Europe, where refineries are available, you can see prices.
Khalid, they're answering your question.
Yeah. You understand? You can wake up today, you can see 2 prices within a day. You understand? In a day.
You know, there's something fundamental, just to add that. You see, in terms of the market where we're all talking about competition, customers, and even in Europe, right, the pump stations on the highway have different prices to what you find in city centers.
We see here also. Okay. That's why I know it's allowed to discount. No.
But here we said that what Star charges in Accra should be the same price in WA. That is our law.
Yeah. No, but today, what Gold or Star is pricing as discounted. It's not everywhere in the station.
Where is this discount? Where is it coming from?
That's fine.
It's there.
It's not.
It was in the floor price.
It
was in the floor price.
It's a total breach.
In London.
I'm talking about the window.
Absolute breach.
Fine, we'll talk about that one. But I'm talking about the window.
In concluding,
absolute breach.
Riverson, in concluding, should the NPA take off the floor price or reduce it further or not touch it?
I think we need to review it.
Downwards?
No, review the entire policy around it.
But should we remove it?
No, removing it is premature.
So what should review bring about?
It has to do with the components in it, and the monitoring aspect.
Very well.
Thank you.
That will be all. Senyo, you want to come next?
You let them.
I'm done.
You know, these are the active people. I'm a teacher in this matter.
Duncan.
Sander.
Yes.
There are problems, and I'm glad we all admit that there are problems. You cannot have almost 15% of product dumping happening within an economy.
Yeah.
And we all.
Where is that 15% coming from?
Well, it's industry figures, I think.
Which industry figures? Who put up? You are the one who did the estimation. You did the analysis.
Yes.
No, you did it because I saw Franklin. So I was asking where the source of that 15 is.
Yeah. Now the man said he did it.
You did the analysis. I want to see it.
No problem. You ask him for it later. So please, Duncan, continue.
If you have a situation where we all acknowledge that there are still problems, fundamental problems to do with, people getting products anyhow, anyway, right, that we dump into the market, we should begin asking questions of how these products get onto the market in the first place. One of the things I remember doing with Senor and the ASEP Executive Director, Ben Boache, there was a day we decided to go around the Tema Enclave, right? There are lots of the yards, what they call tanker yards, right? The walls are as tall as the Jericho ones. The kinds of activities that goes on in them at night, it's not something lost on all of us.
National security is aware?
If we are aware, we'll be surprised that they are not aware.
Okay.
And Senor is here. We went round.
Yeah, that kind has worked though. We've gone through midnight operations trying to, unearth some of these things. So
it's things. Funny. And they don't happen in space, they happen on the land.
In Tema.
We know, they know. Yet we would allow these things to go on. And then we'll come back to say that we need to fix a solution. And the solution is not in clamping down on some of the illegal activities. But the solution is in a price, floor or a ceiling. No problem with a floor. If only you allow for the, as it were, the tweaking, right? If I am able to come to you as an authority or the NPA and say, look, I have some products. If I'm able to go down to 9.5, this is how much I owe my BDC. These are my books. I'm not going to make that much of a loss. But if within the 2-week window or 1 month, I'm able to clear out this transaction, I, as an OMC, will stay profitable, right? There's no reason you should be rigid to insist that we have set a floor for everybody.
So you must stick to it.
I mean, for me, that is very bad.
Okay.
Again, the 229...
But what will be the use of having a thing which cannot be obeyed?
You see, Sanda, up to 2024, there was no floor. The industry didn't collapse.
But now it is there.
You see, what I'm saying is this. We are insisting as though without a floor, there's an urgent or imminent collapse, right?
That's a suggestion from Senor that you need to protect the industry players too.
I don't disagree.
It just didn't happen.
I just don't disagree.
Okay.
Wait, I don't disagree with Senor that there's the need to protect the industry. But then again, in protecting the industry, do you still let some of the inefficient ones, right, hide behind regulation to sell? The question I asked again was this. If you are allowing the bad product on the market and insisting that in using a floor, you are able to contain or curtail their activities, I am telling you, you are only making them more profitable, because if somebody has gone to steel products, right, steel products, or MGO has come in through an illegal source, and the person could have sold for 6 cedis, right? And you say that, look, you may be illegal, all right, but there's a floor below which you can't go, so sell at 9 point. Yeah. You're only making the illegality more profitable.
And he's happier.
And he's happier
so
to continue to be illegal.
Well. Okay.
There are names between all of us that we know.
Not mention it.
And you'll be surprised. Everybody knows that these entities are doing the wrong thing. Yet they exist. And in the books of the NPA, look, 229 OMCs. You will go and do an audit, and I'm sure over 150 or 160 don't exist properly, yet they exist. They should do an audit proper, be able to clean out those who have not been active within the last 5 years or 3 years. Okay. You cannot claim to have the license, you are neither working, you are blocking others who could have also come in with capital to work, yet you are in our books as an OMC.
Thank you, Duncan. Let me get the concluding comment from Franklin Kujo, then come and get my final views from the studio. Franklin Kujo, you can conclude for me, please.
Okay, so the way I see the price floor argument is essentially trying to socialize what I call theft. You know, the fact is that they are, like Duncan said, there are a number of these OMCs I've also come to learn that whose names you never see. All of a sudden they pop up in some list, top 20, top 30, and they are constantly appearing. Sometimes the following 5 years or 3 years, they change names and they come back. All these brigands, all these smugglers, all these underground economy actors are known to the NPA and known by my good friend Senor Duncan. They all know them. We all know them, right? So let's flash them out. You cannot use that as a basis to say you want to set the price floor. I am totally against it, and I still maintain that allow people to innovate and flourish. When Tieku decided to reduce the price, whether it was the price floor or below the price floor, Goa immediately responded. Goa thought, Charlie, I'm the big guy. Well, how did Goa respond? Kenke, fish, breakfast. That's his innovation. Tieku also says, well, I'm not going to do this thing. I'd rather use the technology and keep, you know what happened? Within that time, his share of the market, it jumped by 20-something%.
So allow that to be happening. Allow them
exactly.
to... But the point is that if you allow that to happen, others will suffer. The companies may collapse eventually, and then there'll be a national security...
But that's a look.
Because you're forcing them to do what they can, swallow more than they can bite, or what is it?
There's a guy called Joseph Schumpeter, one of these great capitalists, who said, look, there's something called creative distraction. Whether you like it or not, companies come and go, companies go under. It's a market. If you can't survive, hey, get out. Why should look at the number of companies that we are talking about?
Okay.
I'm not saying dog eats dog, but let everybody do the right things, and then maybe you are not supposed to be in the sale of oil. Maybe go and sell KK or Gobe. Then you go. Bye bye.
Thank you, Franklin Kujo. Let me come back in studio. Let me say that we've been joined by Dennis Miracle Abuaji, who for some time now have been insisting that even though price of fuel is down, Ghanaians should still say that things enkoye. I'll ask him to explain that. He is an MPP member, a Dr. Baumia advocate. Don't respond. I have not your microphone.
He
said that that shall not bear false testimony. He said people should say.
One of my constituents.
I know exactly what
I reject it in Jesus' name.
Senor Jose, I want to hear your comment, then I'll bring in Dennis.
No, Dennis doesn't want to speak to this. He
So
always coming to speak
I think that
He wants to talk about. He said that fuel prices are down, but things are hard.
so.
Then his timing.
Senor,
So
Senor, 2 minutes.
I can only speak to educate. I'm not a social commentator.
Senor, 2 minutes.
I think we are confusing the conversation. And the issue about the number of OMCs and smugglers and are really inconsequential to the price floor to some extent. People coming into the industry and the numbers and the proliferation of it has nothing to do with the price floor that started 2020, 2024. Before that, we already had over 200 LPGMCs and and OMCs. Before 2024 guidelines in April, how many OMCs did you have? Has that got anything to do with price floor? It has nothing to do with price floor. So that's not a conversation that should be mixed with this. Now, the price floor matter. What is that price floor? It's a price that looks at world market price, the agreed industry exchange rate, because Bank of Ghana was intervening, government was, and the plan was also to make sure that translates into prices at the pump. The official regulatory margins, mandatory, then taxes and levies, which nobody controls. Then they set a price floor at that price, meaning no margin. What MPA has done is that we've built something that based on zero margin, zero profits. The costs at least should be recovered. And I beg, yeah.
Is that even sustainable?
No, so no, I'll come to we'll come to it. Remember, we are running an industry still built on a cost recovery policy model. Again, for economic sustainability for the industry. So the price floor does not even make a provision for one person to make a single unit profit. That's why what Duncan said, which I said was right, and I was trying to correct you when the suggestion is that when people go below it, it means that they are smuggling. You can be smuggling, you may be cheating, but it does not necessarily mean so.
I didn't say so.
No,
I use me.
No, well, the me didn't come like that. So let me make sure it is clarified. When you see somebody go below the price floor, meaning that the person is going below the reasonable cost price.
Or they want to further Christmas.
Zero profits. So nobody should think that people are guaranteeing margins, MPAs guaranteeing margins for the industry. That is not the case.
But Senor, which businessman will do stuff for zero profit?
So some people can opt to operate for losses. There's a conduct in this industry that most of you don't understand. All right? People play the financial system. And once you can keep robbing Peter to pay Paul, you keep running. Till such a time that you have an industry shock, then the financial system sees that it's naked. Like what happened in 2013. And ended up with shortages in 2014. Okay. All right? We come from a history, and you are right. Petroleum is so sensitive. Its impact is not just a local economy to people's businesses. It has a socio-economic impact for which states must take a responsible place in ensuring that markets do not fail.
Very well.
In economics, there's government failure, and we see that every day. There's also market failure. So that's why we don't have an absolutely unregulated industry in almost any of these countries relative to even this fuel.
Very well.
So please, the price floor is not a price floor that has been set with an idea of any margin guaranteeing people to start coming into the industry. It has nothing to do with that.
Very well.
People will still want to come into the industry. If you want to fix it, set proper standards. These are the conversations I expect of industry.
Okay.
When I was there, we worked to revise the standard for even being a BDC. It is still not competently implemented. But you did that to get it because people were just jumping in. People go for loans, they breach it. Then today, as we speak, let me tell you the big risk, one of the big risks we have. Our fuel is hardly funded by our own financial system. Any geopolitical case, we will have a major shortage because we don't have a structured system that makes it bankable for our banks.
Thank you, Senor.
When the banks go, whose money is it?
Thank you, Senor.
Whose money is it?
Thank you, Senor.
Bank money, whose money is it?
Is you and I our money?
Exactly. So be careful. We can't be irresponsible about it. What the MPA is doing, what the MPA is doing with this whole thing is responsible. If they were putting margins in there, I would have had a problem. The ceiling that I refer to is an indicative ceiling. Monitoring. So they have an idea of what possibly your reasonable margin should be. So when they see it go, you have price floor plus a margin that's way off. They call you, so you explain.
So it's a private discussion.
And in any case, competition will get you out. But there are times that you can get a unique situation that products end up heavily on one side of, say, a BDC. And people just take advantage of it. They take advantage of it to rape customers. That's why they also monitor the ceiling.
Thank you, Senor. I was going to say, Duncan, I'll give 10 seconds.
You see, why some of us have a problem with the ceiling? Star Oil doesn't do the floor. It normally operates above the floor.
It has never operated
wait. Let me finish. It's already above the floor. It's already above the floor. Yet Star prices with the other OMC, sometimes the differential is more than 1 Ghana cedi.
Exactly.
Senor, wait. The differential is more than. Are you saying that 1 Ghana cedi, which is already higher than the floor, right, is all margins?
So you know,
that is a problem.
Okay.
So you need a ceiling to check them. Otherwise, somebody is getting way more.
So
people are doing 9 point something. Others are doing 11.
Go and buy at West Star Oil or Gold or JP.
But others are making super profits.
They are making a mistake. And look, I'm very surprised that you are saying that people have discounted prices subject to location. Then we defeat this whole UPPF thing. Then let's close the UPPF.
Exactly.
Yes.
But do we have that as a matter of fact? Is it a matter of fact? Is it a matter of fact? Okay.
It's not the deregulation pricing guidelines that we develop.
So it's
you are
wrong.
supposed to have uniform prices across.
Let me hear.
You can go and give KK and Bangu, but the price there should be the same everywhere in the country. I
thought that was a law. That's a law.
We don't have money. Everybody pays like 2 taxes.
Okay. Khalid, yes.
I agree. Interesting point. And again, within the confines of the Star Oil Goil debate, and I think my brother Edward Barr stands out for commendation because, you know, when he came out, he was innovative. He didn't say, "Look, I'm going to slap my prices down." He introduced an element, which is a marketing element or an ingredient, which is, okay, I'm going to serve free breakfast to see how I can attract customers, right? So this discounted issue came up in a discussion. I mean, grapevine. I can't be quoted on this because I'm just trying to guide the conversation.
You're saying it live.
But be responsible. So So what I mean is, yes, I understand that even with Star Oil prices, when you talk about, you know, stemming from Duncan's point, even the discounted stations, the pump stations they have, they're still above the price.
Exactly. And yet others are 2 cities above their price.
Yes.
So others are making super profit. Others are making super profit.
Go to JP.
Senor Hosi, I have a message for you. Yes. Mrs. Honyi says,
Mrs. Hosi, please, my wife, I'm sitting
so you say you should stop talking, it's okay.
Madam is coming. So you look at all of this, but as I said, there's competition, and Eddie Tamaklo, my comrade and his team, they're doing a fantastic job. They've just taken over. They're new in the system, but I know they are listening, and he's a lawyer, right, within the sector, and they would know what to do and the tweaks to do. And industry players, you have a key role to play here, because if we're talking about, MPA cannot stop anyone from registering to become. I mean, if we drill forth to say the numbers are too many, you as industry players have to also put your acts together to say what happens. So, for example, I'll give you a look. In terms of competition, years ago, not even now, that's probably about 5 years off until now, I still teach Zen Petroleum as a case study in my MBA classes, even abroad, for what I see in what they do, right? I flip open the pages of the Financial Times, and I'm seeing emerging companies doing fantastic in Africa, and Zen is one of them. Without knowing, like when I spotted that, I was like, African company, I've seen this in Ghana. Is this really an indigenous Ghanaian company? So I had to do my research to determine the ownership of Zen and where it operated, and they were doing fantastic well. You get where I mean? So yes,
your next model will feature Star and Gold.
Thank you. Right. So yes, the regulators are playing the role they play, but then again, I think that we need to revisit the regulations. We need to revisit the acts and see whether they are actually fit for purpose. Again, my emphasis. This is where the legal regime comes in. In the absence of competition laws, in the absence of consumer protection, we're having strong regulatory institutions that may act arbitrarily.
Thank you. Dennis, even though we brought you here to talk about your primaries, you have been doing People's Forum. You have been insisting that petrol price is down, fuel price is down, but...
You are very mischievous. Let me greet my senior.
What the title? Today is a Sabbath day. You're supposed to keep it holy. Dennis, didn't you say...
Arbitrary is very close to Capel. You're supposed to be, calm.
I'm quiet. Please.
Let me say, I'm Methodist.
Okay. Because the Sabbath thing, what he can do.
Okay, good morning to my seniors.
Yes,
I haven't been insisting. I have been listening to the people.
Okay.
I mean, of what good is fuel at even 5 cedi and dollar at 2 cedi and inflation at -1 when the people still do not see it reflecting in their lives? And my view is that the views of the 10%, almost all of us here around this table are beneficiary of these improved macroeconomic indicators. All of us. But there are 90% of the people who are not here, whose views are not being heard. And I insist, without any doubt, that we are being unfair to them. And that for me is where the issue is. Listen, this morning I drove to a fuel station, clearly I'll save money. If I pay fees at GIS, I will save money because it's in dollars. If I'm traveling out for vacation in the US, I will save money. It's in dollars. I mean, however you look at it, you will make some savings. You see, the problem is that even those who earn dollars, they are crying, but they are still part of the 10%. And I've always insisted that those who fall within these categories I've mentioned,
they celebrate.
They have every reason to celebrate, and they cannot at any rate have anything to say wrong about DOC and their government. But listen, it's integrated. You cannot have the fuel conversation and its impact on the cost of living in isolation. The fuel, the inflation, the dollar, and then utilities would work together. Right now, the fact of the matter, which we can debate the whole day, nobody can beat me to it, is that 28% increase in utility has basically made nonsense of the macroeconomic improvement that we are seeing in the lives of most of the people. See, somebody goes to the port to go and buy poultry in boxes. The importer has actually reduced the price because dollar has come down. Okay, that is if we are even lucky, because most of them have not reduced. And they will tell you that they're actually hedging at 12.5, 13 because they are afraid. You understand? But let's put that conversation aside. Let's not digress. Let me not digress. That's a fact. So let's not even digress. So he buys the poultry seller, that's a retailer, buys a box of poultry at a reduced price from the importer. But when he comes to his shop, where he's selling to you and I, he's at a loss. He's confused because previously his 10,000 Ghana cedi a month electricity is now 12,800. So that gain he had made from the reduced price from the importer, he cannot transfer it to you and I, to the consumer. And that's where the problem is. The tomato seller, who never goes directly to go and buy fuel, doesn't get this benefit because, indeed, his transport fare from Kaswa to La Paz has actually gone up. So he has no benefit from the fuel price reduction.
So the benefits are being negated by other issues.
And that's why I'm saying that cost of living is integrated.
So the cost of living is high?
No, I'm saying that. You see, my problem has not been whether it is high or not. It has been the narrative all of us hatched on.
So in the integration,
wait on. The narrative all of us hatched on initially, that sought to create the impression as if all of a sudden, because the macroeconomic indicators are looking better on paper, everybody across the country has their cost of living going down. I am saying that it is not true.
But then they are not protesting. They are not.
Who told you they are not protesting?
But if they were
struggling, have you given them a platform? You brought Mr. President, brought Duncan and Co here. Who are going to protest?
But they have people who depend on them.
Around. I'm sorry,
but they have all of us. Protest that things are hard.
No. You see, when we are having the conversation and you put it this way,
Senor, Dennis, but that's what you are saying. You are saying that
we miss the
you are saying that those of us in here, we are of a you are saying that we are of a certain class, and that we will not feel it. We are benefiting from what's happening at the fuel station.
Yes,
we are benefiting from the dollar exchange. But there are other people like the kerosene seller in Ekwafim who is struggling, and that we should not keep quiet. We should let that person speak.
That boat is a taxi driver. Okay, that boat is a. Let me use Antiakosia that's popular now. She sells tomatoes. Antiakosia sells tomatoes. Antiakosia is basically living the basic of lives. The Antiakosia impact will be through fuel, which has reduced transport costs.
Transportation.
Now she's not getting that benefit because the transport guys are not reducing it. That's the first point. The second point is that when Antiakosia is done with her sales,
the cost of milk has gone down.
But the cost of milk has gone up. A carton of milk that used to be 192, the small one, which the regular Antiakosia buys, not the medium one that you and I buy.
Yeah.
The small one was 192, it's 250. You understand? Water, the sachet water that Antiakosia and everybody buys, that was 8 cedi, it's 10 cedis. Those are the realities.
Dennis, let me test this your thing in the studio. I'll come back to you. I'll let you conclude on this. But I think you said the base.
Let me enter Antiakosia. So you see, put even all these things aside, because there are some of the items we mentioned that people can actually do without. They live their basic life. They eat banku, fufu, and pesi. They can do without some of the things. Let's look at the things that everybody will pay. Electricity, water, school fees. If you're not paying for your son, you're paying for your nephew or yourself. So now when Antiakosia goes home, Antiakosia is paying more electricity. She used to pay 3,600. She's now paying 4,613 because there's an increase in 28%. No, a year. Because per annum she earns 18,000. Yeah. Now she's earning 19,000, which is actually more, but it's eroded by the cost of that electricity she's paying. She used to pay 960 a year for water. She's paying 1,151. She used to pay 1,615 for her son Angela. Daughter Angela at Legon. She's now paying 2,630. No, relax. That's a reality. She used to pay 6,200 for Ivandi hostel for Angela because Angela doesn't have hostel. Now Angela is paying 7,800.
I'll let her use a regular hostel.
No, relax. She doesn't get it. She's not entitled to it. So now you see the fact of the matter is that in 2024, Antiakosia was saving 5,000 above after all the cost, these baselines. In 2026, 2025. She's actually saving just 3,000.
That's why inflation coming down.
That's a fact.
Okay.
So these things, we can't run away from them.
Okay.
And you may argue, but everything I've mentioned is data, is fact.
Yes.
Now we need to give ourselves time and rather say that government, instead of running to town and creating that impression that everybody is okay, shall we look into the details? Because the details doesn't support the fact that everybody is okay.
I'll come to government. I want to hear around the table the submissions of Dennis, but I'll give you the final say. You are an economist.
Dennis is setting the pace for us.
No, but there are reasonable people here. No, but there are reasonable people. So I think Senor has already agreed with him. Let me see if everybody agrees with him. Senor, you agree with him?
Governance must be looked at in a total balance. As a social scientist, we think at the mean. All right, there are definitely going to be outliers. So there has to be some deliberate policy across different sectors of the economy. We can't deny the fact that economically this government has done great.
No doubt about it.
They've done that because they've managed to stabilize what was almost a major macroeconomic catastrophe. So that has been stabilized. Inflation has come down. We've seen a certain balance on the exchange rate. We've seen its impact on prices relative to the import side. That's what's also contributed to. We've seen things on the monetary market side, our reserves. But yes, it's very right. Those are big English things. They are at the top. We now have to translate this into the real sector, into the everyday life. The things he's saying, absolutely on point. Antiakosia or whoever it is may not buy a car and realize that it takes less
Port charges have reduced.
Less CDs now to buy a particular kind of car.
Okay.
Her particular life, we have to start capturing data on certain subsectors, so as far as the societal sectors are concerned, and analyze their cost of living and the inflationary impact in their particular part, and not look at it as a collective.
Okay.
We sometimes will miss a bit of the plot. If her transportation has actually gone up, life is not easier. Okay. If a utility has gone up, the utility really have a problem with the price increase in some form, because if we have had an FX saving and then we've had so much, at least we should have had a net neutral situation. But I mean, I'm sure because of the legacy problems, certain adjustments have been done. So we really need to look at how we can improve that life. But in the same vein, everybody sitting here also remits money.
Yeah.
So if life has gotten easier for you, it means that you can remit more.
It will go down.
So there's a benefit also down there.
Okay.
But there's a certain real life situation too that he's advocating that I think we should pay legitimate attention.
Okay. So Dennis has
but
one.
you must understand that you can't achieve all from where this government took off all in 1 year.
Okay.
They've done the first thing right.
Okay. That is why you have to. So why
the
the
next
next
step
step?
we have to go?
So
my point is
no, Dennis, you are the lead debater. You are the lead debater. You are the lead debater. You have got one vote in your corner. I don't want to hear from the two of them. No. But you see, you've heard him explain that we remit. Dennis, wait. So what I'm saying, gentlemen, what I'm saying is that to make this a fair debate, Dennis has spoken, Senor has agreed. I don't want to ask the other people their view yet. Let me hear Khalid, so that if I hear Khalid, I'll see whether Khalid can try and tilt. So Khalid,
my point is,
so Khalid, you've heard what he said. You agree?
No, not entirely. It's good, but the point is,
you totally disagree.
No, I don't totally disagree.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
But
why
the
we
point
all
is,
have.
no,
Then we are okay.
I said not
There is no
entirely,
debate.
so we didn't need that question.
no debate
We're okay.
here.
How are we okay? He went into the details of it to break it down. So
Yes.
I need to go into the details to break mine down.
Please do. The two of you are the deciders. So listen.
Yeah. I mean, when we're talking
They are all
about
in-
a health, when we're talking about the health of an economy, everyone agrees that from where we took off,
Let's hear Khalid.
right? Where did we take off? We took off from an overheated economy, right? Very overheated.
The gasket was bent.
No engine.
Oh,
The
no,
engine was blown.
There was engine, but the gasket.
The engine was blown, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the point to which we were when we took over the economy.
Okay.
Now, even struggling to service debt, external debts. I mean, so without even having that currency stability, right? And forex headroom, servicing our debt was a problem. Today, we've been able to manage that, and we are servicing and meeting all our debt liabilities. Right? You can see the commendation from the fund and how we are accessing these. So if we are there, we're not even going to town to say we are celebrating with the Kenke party to say this is what is happening, or we have been able to secure XYZ. But we need to mention cursory as we move on the key indicators that have been achieved. Is inflation down?
Yes.
Right. So why should it not be mentioned? Right. Is the cost of some elements or key essentials not down? If it's down, yes, why should we not mention that?
But he says that
right?
there are others that are
we
high.
can give, you see,
They've
when
gone
we're
up.
talking about interpretations of data whatsoever, we can all interpret it to whatever situation we want it to suit. We
Not
can cherry
necessarily.
pick, not necessarily.
Yes,
we can
not
cherry
all the
pick
time.
examples that work best for us. That is not to say that everyone is benefiting, but key. We mention importation of vehicles, how other people
10%.
are enjoying.
Let the population
No,
go.
regard-
That's the point I'm making.
but it's
I don't know what the debate is about.
No,
because you
he's-
all agree.
so then
that
this is-
he has agreed. Listen, I'm
Senor.
He has agreed
Senor.
that the economic progress you
Senor.
have done is great.
But since
He has accepted
to
that.
break things down.
No,
Can
he has also said that while
Right.
you guys have done
So
well
now-
somewhere,
Yeah.
there's a certain part of the economy too that you need to pay
So
attention
that's
to.
why-
Miracle.
that's my point.
Miracle.
My point is with where
Senor.
my point.
Yeah.
Senor, your
My
wife
point
has
is
sent
with
a
where
message.
they have left us,
Yeah.
or where we inherited, we need time.
He has agreed. He agreed.
Right? So if you agree, let me
Senor,
finish up.
Senor, your wife is calling on video. Khalid,
So
what
now,
he's
in
what
a
Miracle is
regime-
what
I'm
Miracle is
coming.
saying
No,
is that
no, let me
what
come
Miracle
in
is saying
here.
is
No,
that
let me come
let
in
me
here.
just say that
In a regime where-
he said that
Yes.
10% happy, 90% not too.
That data may not be right,
no.
but he's talking about it.
He's talking about it in a
conceptually.
certain,
That's
in a certain
all.
aspect.
He can't say it's
You
not
know.
wrong, but he doesn't have it.
Nobody has that data.
Yes,
We all don't have that
You
data.
don't have.
But where did you get your? Is it from
In
statistical
Accra,
service?
it's just conjecture.
In Accra, data that is
Conjecture.
fact, not congestion, is that 75 to 80% of people in Accra use public transport. I can just
But
use
that's
that
not-
data.
so that's not
relax.
10%.
That's no, but
No,
relax.
10% he said
I'm not
it
done.
in the
The
conference.
rest, I'm not done. I'm talking about the front race.
Senor, you cannot be trusted. A double agent.
Well, it's not about being a double. The
It's
people
our
of Ghana,
people.
there's a set of people. The people of Ghana are
Let's say,
listening.
okay,
And in
and
a
then do it
regime,
for those who have
in a
been-
Why are you
regime,
guiding his debate?
Yeah, in a regime where we don't have price controls. Again, you can cherry pick the price of whatever you want depending on who is getting what and where
The
they are getting it
universal
from.
ones, utility, everybody
Right?
pays.
Yeah. You mentioned water. You mentioned other
milk.
activities.
You mentioned milk.
Where someone sources their milk is different to where someone. So we're talking about universal prices or universalization of prices.
When you're doing KK prices,
people, the two of you, you are gagging them.
Yes,
No,
so
you're
I'm
not
coming to this.
bullying.
Right? Even with rents and where they are located, you could have people. I mean, I have friends who say, "Oh, my landlord has written to rest that we all need to leave the compound." He knows what he's trying to do. They leave. He jacks up his prices, and he knows how to, to invite people in. So invariably, what we are saying, we are not celebrating anything. We have our internal controls. We have our benchmarks. We have what we are trying to do to stabilize the economy, to have, a stable city, to allow the sector to carry on to do what it's doing. So what we're doing invariably is just to get the economy to cool off. And nobody is celebrating anything. If you are uncomfortable with it and you deem it as celebration, then so be it.
But he's agreed that he's great.
Senor.
I don't want you to accept that your opposition has agreed to the progress you've made. And he also understands that it will not be achieved. But he wants to bring your attention to the fact that while we'll be able to deal with this at the macro level, we have to look at some micro issues.
And that is in progress.
That's what,
have you denied that?
Nobody has denied that. There's no debate.
A year and a month ago.
1 year and 1 month is a long time.
When did you leave
You people in government, you like to fight.
No, he's saying that the mess you created was too much that they had to
back. The response to that is even more damaging. You want to hear it?
Yes, I want to hear it.
If I'm Antiakosia, that thing about the mess is even more damaging. If I'm Antiakosia, and when the inflation was 23%, I was paying electricity of 1,000 a month. I'm just saying. And then now that inflation has come to 5, I'm paying 2,000. Wouldn't I rather want? Relax. You are not listening.
Sanyo is not listening to you.
Don't take. Let me make my point.
Oh, so now Senor should not speak.
Let me make my point.
Now Senor should not speak.
If you give me time, when I mention all 4, I've told you it's integrated. So when I mention dollar of war, assume I'm saying all the 4. I am saying that what you are flaunting in Antiakosia's face is macroeconomic indicators. Let me say that. Now, you tell Antiakosia that it's because of the mess that the people created. That is why even though the macroeconomic indicators are looking good, you can't see it in your life. Then Antiakosia tells you that then let it go back. Because when it was bad, I was paying less for the electricity. I was paying less for my water. So don't come and tell Antiakosia that. The reason why she's not seeing...
No, we are not giving that as a reason.
No, but we're
not giving that as a reason.
Let Khalid conclude.
You asked me to intervene. Don't come and tell Antiakosia that the reason why you should give me time is because there was a mess. Don't say that. Just do your work.
Okay.
No, because Antiakosia will tell you that in the mess, I was paying less.
Okay, so the mess was better.
No, yeah, for her.
Okay.
And that's fine.
But yet she voted against the mess.
Listen, because she hoped. Because you told her that indeed you were emphatic. You told her that she would pay less electricity.
Okay.
So that's what you told her. That's why she voted for you. No, you are not the host. You are not the host.
The power of the cabinet has gone up.
It's not true. It's not entirely true. It's not entirely true.
I'm saying.
The 10%.
Okay, people, your mind was up. In fact,
Pareto principle here.
Dennis, your mic is off. Let me hear from Riverson and Duncan.
You are in government. You are
We can work it. We can value of money.
No. Antiakosia's reality. Antiakosia's reality.
Antiakosia's reality is constant.
Okay.
In the miraculous economic world.
Her revenue has gone up.
And so less.
Can you, Khalid, miracle, Senor, miracle. Let me hear, Dr. Riverson. I want to hear from Duncan. Duncan, you represent consumers. Are consumers happy? Then no, please, the three of you. Senor,
he's joined there.
Senor, right. You represent consumers. Dennis says, Ekoye but Enkoye.
Okay. But it's always the case.
No, 10% against 90 is bad.
10%.
Okay, Duncan.
Wait, how many vehicles were imported in 2020?
I want to hear from Duncan. Miracle. I want to hear from.
And then we have 36 million people.
Miracle.
Their families.
Oh, please.
Duncan, let me hear. No, let me hear Duncan. I'll come back to
150. What's that? How many liters of fuel?
Yeah. Oh, but that's what I'm saying.
Prof, now you are joining them.
No, sorry.
Prof, you have joined them.
Sorry.
Dennis.
Dennis.
Duncan.
my response will be very brief.
Yes,
Right?
It must be balanced.
Very balanced.
Good.
If it is 1090 now, what was the statistic 2 years ago?
Fair enough. No problem. It was 100% bad. That's what you
Was it? No. I'm just
Dennis,
asking.
don't respond.
No,
These are
I'm just-
rhetorical
I'm
questions.
just-
Duncan, please.
Because you see, like Prof said, you must come from somewhere and you must aim for something. I do not think that anybody within this government would be right to tell Ghanaians, oh, you are all enjoying, everything is fine. If they try that, they will meet all of us. Because clearly, not everything is at the levels that we would have wished it gets to. But for a young person who has maybe one parcel of land in Kaswa trying to build, right, trying to engage in something, the cost of cement would have come down for him.
Iron rod.
So for them, yes, iron rod has gone down.
Sand.
So there will be some savings to be made.
Okay.
But like Dennis also said perfectly, there will be some adjustments to be made by way of wages. Because what the carpenter was charging previously and what they charge today is higher today. So it's a balancing situation. Government has done something. You cannot say that it's done nothing. But government should avert its mind to the fact that it still has a lot more to do.
Okay.
So, is it you have heard?
No, we admit.
So it's okay. Then we
So
have a
the
4-year
No, we'll come. I'll come back. No. Gentlemen, please, no problem.
They have joined
Duncan,
each other.
are you done?
For me,
Because it's as if you are doing Kafri Mojo, or what's the truth? Is it Kafri Mojo?
Do you know something interesting? The utility price increases were part of the IMF arrangement that was negotiated in
It's okay. Let me hear. Reverse it. No problem.
You planned it before. You planned it before.
Charlie. Dennis and Senor. Dennis and Senor. Please. Duncan, conclude. Can we hear from Duncan?
Don't join them.
People,
Prof, don't join them.
respectfully, can we hear
Don't
from
join them.
Duncan, please?
So indeed, inflation, like you said, has gone down. But there's no deflation. It's not that prices are growing at a negative rate. So there's still inflation, just that the rate of it is gone down. Unemployment, you would say, has gone down. But a lot of the young graduates are still complaining of jobs. So as a government, think outside.
Oh.
That's the data.
No, continue.
Yeah,
Ignore them.
The data,
Your forex
we'll talk
bits
about that later.
seem to have improved. It could have externally induced factors, right? Such as the US dollar not doing well globally. So look at it. You don't jubilate yet, because if you do, you could be surprised if
You see, I'm taking notes.
if things
It's
turn the other way
listening
around.
government. Thank you, Duncan.
No,
Let me hear
no,
from
I
Riverson.
just have two more.
Okay.
Two more.
Oh,
You
time.
see, no. And then again, one thing you should pay attention to is the rental bit you were mentioning. You cannot continue to have a country that does not operate with rental laws. They are on paper, but in effect, you cannot seem to get any benefit whatsoever, even when the city seem to have done well. The place I rent, right, for whatever reason, there's an escalation rate in my contract for 12%.
Yeah, it's cantonment. It's
No,
reasonable.
it's not cantonment. It's not cantonment. You see, and it cuts across. It cuts across. This is even a government-led exactly.
property.
It's okay.
And there's
Don't expose
escalation
them.
of 12%. So, Shara, if you don't take care of some of these things, you may make some gains with inflation and all of that.
others
But
will
like
limit
Dennis said,
The real economy.
the scorecard will come at the real economic point.
He has taken notes. Riverson, let me hear you. Let me hear Dr. Riverson. Let me hear Dr. Doc.
Yeah. So.
Or you don't want to comment?
No.
on
Just briefly. Not on the parties. I mean,
You don't support
government
either of
side.
them?
No. I just want to speak reality. You know.
No, we spoke reality.
No reality. Yeah. I don't know you. I've never seen before.
We are united.
And I never heard it before.
So you've not met him before?
No, I don't even know him.
All the work this man did in
we
2024.
haven't met
Not
him
just
before.
all your campaign. That's why you lost. That's why you lost.
So I don't.
That is what are you afraid of?
So the point is, you know,
It's a reality.
we live in a country where we allow self-imposed inflation to happen. Fuel prices go down, and lorry fares maintain at the level at which It is, or it would be.
Wiki trotro drivers.
No, I won't say that.
No,
now they are bringing other
opposition elements.
No, they are bringing. Yeah, you could call it that. They are bringing other factors now that affect their transport fares. But let us be here and fuel price go up again. I'm not saying it should happen or it would happen, but in case it happens, they will increase throttle fare with the same saying that now fuel prices have gone up. We've seen it many times. Unlike in developed countries where they go in tandem, I mean line in line. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with my wife, and he said the kids' school fees have increased.
Mine too.
I was shocked because I thought.
You're all supporting them.
No. I'm not talking. Like I said, I don't know him.
Continue.
If I props you, I don't know him also. Yeah, so I'm not talking even before because of what they said. I'm just telling you how it is. Salary is not able to increase this year. You know why? Because of the good economic circumstance we find ourselves. So you want to have your revenue equate at least to your expenditure. And that's where I think he is coming from, that in the case where your expenditure goes above your revenue, then you become anti-Akusua. In that case, we are Ajakusua. Because you're having the same, no, seriously. So,
the same fundamental.
Yeah. But at the same time, let's talk about this whole. Let's talk about this whole. No, I'm not done. No, let's talk about
30
this.
seconds.
Yeah,
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I think I personally have.
Let's hear him. Senor, I'm hearing Riverson, please. Senor, I'm hearing Riverson, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it for 7 years.
Khalid,
I was adjusting my expenditure.
Let me take messages from my
No, so quickly. No, quickly. Let me just say that this tariff adjustment, I find difficult to understand. Probably I was part of the team that reviewed the quarterly tariff adjustment for utility. Some parts when I was with Ghana Gas. One of the major factors is the forex.
Yeah, forex.
So at a point where forex is doing so well, why should we go up? Is it some other operation costs that have gone up that we don't know? Yeah. So I think.
So again, I can't.
Let me bring messages.
Yeah.
Under the IMF arrangement.
Senor, you're offline, so please, I don't know much platform I can say. The people keep saying the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta is being politicized, but I want to ask, was Ken Ofori-Atta not holding a political office? Okay, this is a message. I'm not sure we talked about him, but that's Alex Fenuvo from Tema Committee 9. This one says, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude for the excellent work you are doing as the connoisseur of the oil sector in your station now. I would like to seek clarification from Mr. Duncan of COPEC and Dr. Riverson regarding the determination of nozzle levels at filling stations. Specifically, I'm curious to know whether the responsibility falls under the Ghana Standards Authority or the National Petroleum Authority, the nozzles. This is a message from a filling station operator. Who is it, NPA that's in charge or Standards Authority? GSA, okay. Good morning. We may be enjoying the price floor, but are we also minded of the right fuel at the right prices? That's Jones Aduboy in La. Prof. Sharif is a great brain, always fascinating to listen to him speak on the economy. The future is bright. That's Mark Azintiu from Matayeko. I agree with Khalid. The NPA is doing a good job, and we need to support the work they are doing. That's Kwame Epiaje. The Star Oil CEO needs to be commended for bringing active competition within the space and rescuing the ordinary Ghanaian from the big three. That's John Kwatin Ofori from Ashie. Senor Hussein is a master on the petroleum sector. Wow, I'm impressed. That's Dokas Yamwa. Duncan Amwa should keep looking out for the interests of the ordinary consumer. I agree with Senor. He's doing a great job in the sector. Mausi Dogbe from Bato. Always a pleasure listening to Prof. Khalid. He should be featured more on the big issue. Great job. Nana Kwame J. Boatin from Spinters Committee 18. Miracles Abuaji is communication force. We, the grassroots, need him as our next communications director. We will rise again with DMB as the leader of our party. That's Commander Castro from Efija Kwabre. By the way, Commander, Dr. Riverson didn't know that Dennis existed in this country until this morning. Miracles, 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 miracles. Always setting agenda. His candidate is in trouble on January 31. That is a message without a name. This one from, okay, let me see. Where the messages appear to be conflicting on my platform. A few more. This one says, hello. Okay, good morning, sir. And to your cherished panelists, maintaining a price floor is essential for ensuring market stability and protecting vulnerable producers. That is a message from Togbi Kekosi, the 8th, senior Mankrado of Abutia traditional area. Haruna Sani in Wa says, my message to the NPP flag bearer aspirants is that as a campaign, care must be taken such that we don't wash our dirty linen in public, which our opponents may use against us. For the linen there, they've already dried it in public self. This one says, all the rush for getting a presidential candidate by folks in the NPP towards 2028 general election will yield to dividends if the party refuses to advise Ken Oforiatta to calm down. This message has no name. The upcoming NPP election shouldn't be like that of the general election. We, the NPP members, are 100% sure that Dr. Baumia is taking the position and there's nothing going to change. We'll be talking about that in a bit. This one says, for me, the free market won't be of much help to our economy. We'll be creating a system that will break the economy in the long run. This also doesn't have a message. I agree with Duncan on the price range matter. I think we may want to rather talk of price ceiling rather than price floor. So that's another texter. A few more messages. Let me take this one from, I saw a message that came to, yes. Patrice Amegashi sends a message. He said, fuel prices have never been even in Ghana as far as I recollect. You very well know Total always sells the highest, followed by Shell and then the others. So what's the fuss? The regulator must ensure quality control and an unconscionable lowering of prices by a market leader to throw out the smaller ones. Other messages that are coming through, plenty. This one says, hello, kindly inform Senor that the act read in sections, and he said, kindly inform Senor that acts are read in sections and subsections, not sections.
And not clauses, right.
I didn't even hear. My law lecturer my law lecturer will possibly be very angry with me.
When I come, I often come and speak about the Constitution.
This one says, good morning. Please, I have an idea I would like to run. I'm interested in pitching. Okay, this is something else private. This is the big issue on ChannelOne television and on 97.3 CTFM. I'm in studio with a number of oil gurus and 2 politicians. Let's talk about politics now, shall we? What am I saying? What was your name? Dennis Miracle Abwaji. I nearly called him Brian Champon. You people don't want to talk about MPP politics. It will affect you.
No, they don't want to talk.
No, you don't pack out. You don't pack out yet. You wait. No, wait. No, but when Senyo was at Seaboard, he was doing politics. How can you?
This man,
So he is a rebel. So you did okay. Duncan, would you stay or you go?
No, Duncan too don't stay.
Duncan too also.
You represent the people.
You can go. So Duncan and Riverson will take leave of us.
But why is this one?
No, he is.
I can deal with you.
So Dennis, let's start off with you. We saw you do a peace pact. Dr. Brian Champon said a peace pact. If he was not sitting there, anchor, you would have thrown blues. Dr. Bami and Honorable Ken.
Well, I mean, I think he's also campaigning. So, I mean, it's allowed for him to also make those comments. But I mean, Umaru, we are 7 days away. We've come very, very far. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that has gone on in the last 9 months within the MPP throughout this process that is unusual. Everything you are witnessing or you are seeing today are things that usually happen when we are going for internal primaries. And it's not just Ghana. I mean, all over the world. You can go and watch the primaries for the Democrats and the Republicans. You can go and watch the primaries for the UK and all of that. It's normal. In fact, there sometimes are even worse. I
remember what Donald Trump did to the Bush.
Yes. The sort of things they say about themselves, it's worse. And it's like that because, you know, the issues on which you have to campaign internally are completely different from the issues you have to campaign nationally. You see, within the party, in a democratic internal primaries, it's not about how many jobs you can create. They don't care about that. They want power first. And so the decision making usually is about who amongst all the people running will give us power. That is what usually it is. So when you win the primaries, then you are coming to face the country. Then you have to be sure you convince the country. And so usually what the candidates will be doing will try to tie the two and let you understand that these are the reasons why I think I can win power for the party. And these are the reasons why I believe that when I win power, I would be able to lead the country to make our party look good.
So that's what the matter should be reduced to?
No, that's what it is. And once it gets to that point, that is where you see all the heat, happen. And cast your mind back from, 1996. 1996, you would see that there's nothing unusual here. It was the Swedo Declaration that was different because that one Rollins had to lift, Professor for the 2000 elections. But President Kufuor and Alan, it was bad. It was, I said, the Kufuor and Alan, it was crazy. In fact, a lot of the MPP current situation stems from the Legon scenario, the Alan, the Kufuor, and it went on all the way to somewhere.
Even though the two of them made up, their supporters.
No. If you go to the local level, it's even worse. It's worse. If you go to the polling stations, there are some places they wait. So I'll wait to know where Senor is going first before I decide.
Okay.
You will never see Senor and I on the same side locally. So when you go and you see that Senor is this side, you can tell that, if Senor is here,
I'm going there.
Then Umaru Sanda is there. Like we know ourselves. At the local level, we know ourselves. And it's because of traditions. It's because of traditions.
So this not unusual.
You'd realize that immediately Alan stepped back. Almost all the Alan supporters went to Ken. He automatically inherited. It will move from him to another, side. But the point I'm making is let's not place too much premium on the issues running. It dies down after the elections, usually.
But it's potentially problematic for you. It could actually lead to serious divisions because the Alan thing you talked about, for the fact that it is still traveling for more than a decade, then it means that
it
more.
has never been an inhibitor to any political party.
Are you sure?
Oh yes, I'll give you. Let me give you something. Let me refresh your memory.
Which example?
Between MPP and NDC, NDC has split more since 1992 than MPP.
Really?
Oh yes. Buzetano came. You remember Obeda Samoa, Francis Esiam, and Bizidin. The
DFP.
DFP. You remember Fonka Games? After Fonka Games, they split.
NDP.
Yeah. So let's not place too much premium.
So far, it's only Butterfly that has flown out of your party.
Yes. But even that, the point is that those have never been inhibitors for any political party when the time is due.
That's because your party is an amalgamation of historically.
I thought your party rather is amalgamation.
Check their party, their history as well.
But you are a Congress of everybody.
So it depends on the point of
amalgamation. When you look at it originally,
I'm surprised you kept quiet.
When you look at it originally,
I don't want to forget why I was.
When you look at it at the inception of Ghana's politics, that's where you talk about the amalgamation.
But later on,
in this Fourth Republic,
amalgamation is really everything.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Then it's continue.
I was just making a point.
So amalgamation of Dankwa, Buzia, Dombo.
No, there are lots. The Ewe Group, the Muslim Association, the Northern.
So I'm looking at it from a political perspective.
But that's even beside the point.
It was Coco that brought them together.
The point I'm making here is that the heat and all those things
It's normal.
is normal with any political. NDC will have the somewhere last quarter 2027. They can't run away from it. They can never.
You see?
Oh no. The fact of the matter is that democracy has a certain architecture. You can't avoid it. It has a certain architecture. See, NDC has been what it is now because for the last 3-4 elections, close to 16 years, they've had a de facto leader, a point person. So it was easy. But even that, they haven't had it easy. Before Mahama became the main face of the NDC, he had to survive a lot. And then eventually, recall, even recently, the Duforce against him. There were nasty letters that were written over the place. At some point, he even decided to step back but that is what it is. Eventually, he's going to leave.
But the letters
now, when he's leaving, you don't have to debate everything.
No, just asking the content. If you describe the letters,
these people, they poured hot pepper. Kufuor,
look at where he's taking.
Francis Esiam, Obeda Samoa.
You mentioned like.
I can read it. If you give me time, I'll read it to you.
No, don't read it.
If you give me time,
no, summarize.
No, I haven't kept it in my head.
I was at the Congress. I was at the convention of 2007, the Legon one.
Which party?
Which one?
MPP one.
Doing what?
I was also at the Congress of the NDC, 2004. What's the name?
Miracle, what's the tree word?
Kusibuchi
It's Mofe
and,
Mojo. What's
and
Oturu Mojo? Senor Jose.
Yeah, they're
So
two
let me.
things.
Let Dennis land.
So the point is, you see, I'm trying to make a case.
Yes, please.
That we shouldn't place too much premium on the jobs.
So this is you speaking as an MPP member. I want you to talk now as Dr. Baumia.
Oh no, I'll come there. I'll come there. The jobs and all those things. For me, we've seen enough to know that it's just a cycle. Yeah. You know, and if you hear what Brian is saying, what do you expect Brian to say? Brian himself, when he was speaking to Ken at the meeting, Ken didn't mind him. He himself, at some point, Ken didn't mind him. You understand?
He was a mediator.
No, he wasn't. But he has his own issues.
Brian is
the jobs he's throwing at Ken is that the jobs he's throwing at Ken are the mediation jobs. You are also trying to take a hit. For example, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia was not happy at the Peace Pact.
We saw that.
Yes, and he's not hiding it. The fact is that, listen, I can't come and sit at a table signing a Peace Pact to somebody that's 3 days ago has basically lied about me and gone personal attack at me. I have approached the person and said, this thing you said is a lie. I've proven to you that I didn't say anything like that. Then he says, still, I will not apologize.
That will be Ken.
That's Ken. And then you come and put me around the table. You come and put me around the table and say that I should sign a pact. So Dr. Bawumia, he showed it. And he is human. Listen, throughout this process, nobody has suffered attacks than Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in the process. And that's why he hasn't complained. That's why he's never responded to any of those things. However, this Peace Pact, it was part of the processes in 2023. Normally when we submit our forms, it is attached. It is only this year that we decided to have a ceremony around it. My view is, my personal view is that they don't change much. People would always be people. The most important thing is that 2 things will happen after this election. When we finish this election, some would leave or everybody would stay. It's normal. The very strong leaders with very strong mental fortitude will stay. Those without, who take loss in a very bad way, will leave. I would never leave MPP no matter what. I would stay.
You ever see a party?
No. You will be part of the party and make it work. That is what democracy is. Listen, there are millions of people who vote for NDC and MPP. We can never all agree on one particular thing. And so, for me, the Peace Pact has been signed, but I think it's very, very ceremonial. I think that it's symbolic that at least when you decide to misbehave afterwards, at least there's something to hold and say, stop it. At least you signed to this, okay. Something to hold you to.
Okay.
But otherwise, I think that this thing will pass. We'll come together, finish this as a strong, formidable MPP. Okay. We've always done this. We've always survived it. You see, I have made a point that we don't need this government to fail for there to be a new leader from the MPP or whatever. You don't need a government to fail before a new person emerges. When it is time for an election, it is not whether the NDC failed or not. It is more about where we are. Who amongst the people asking for our vote to lead this country fits the scenario, consolidation of the gains, what the vision is. When the time is due, the teacher is not just going to vote because NDC failed. They are going to vote listening to who is coming and what the person is saying he will do for here as a teacher, as a mechanic, as a trader, as a businessman, as an oil person. What is this person saying? Okay. So I have always insisted that nobody is expecting the NDC to fail. No. NDC will leave office in 2028, not just because they failed or they succeeded, but because of the leader that would emerge and the leaders that would emerge from the MPP and NDC, okay. And what they will be articulating as their vision. Okay. That is what it's going to make a difference.
He makes it sound as if, well, this is a normal internal party issue, and it happens to be fair. It happens in both parties. It happened to you before. You almost went like forever. You're not going to come back, but you are back to power. So this issue shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that's where I disagree with some of the points. But as I said, if you look at what is happening in the NDC, with even all the breakaways we've had in the past and all the congresses, you can describe them in whatever terms you want to. But yes, in the last one, did we sign a peace pact?
I don't remember. Did you not?
No, did we? You would have heard about it, or you'd have seen.
Just through the
so
business.
Yes,
so
no, but I mean, you had Prof. Alabi, you had the current speaker, you had all of them contested.
But you had peace walks across the entire country. There was a peace walk in every region.
Before, I'm talking about primaries. Yeah. We're giving history.
But there was a peace walk in every region.
Oh No, the peace walk was even before primary.
So you
one is a
pact,
similar
to a pact.
Yeah. So my point is,
that is the point. What is the walk?
If you feel that these are us he's trying to poo-poo and belittle them, I don't think that he will spend a lot of time on social media responding to Ken's spokesperson.
No, it's all part of the jobs.
Every now and
it's
again.
It's all part of the process.
Right, to say that. But that said, I mean, I'm going to take it from a very political point of view and to dissect candidate by candidate to see how these things...
You're not great at politics, let's be honest with you.
Sorry?
You're not great at politics.
Come again?
You're not a politician.
No, it's a technical one.
So, so don't try politics. Just say your technical
that's what I'm saying there.
From perspective, he has run for parliament before.
But it is not in him.
Yeah.
He's just a policy man.
Yeah. So he's like Dr. Bawumia.
You see, but a different version, but something like that.
No, but give him 3 years.
Give him 16 years.
You know what?
16 years.
He'll tell you. He says, he has a terminology for it. He said, you are a policy person and a politician at the same time. Bernard has got a terminology. So you ask Bernard, he has the right terminology. Okay. Yeah, so you look at it from the perspective. I mean, for me, if you look at this race, bar all of these side issues happening in terms of washing their dirty linen in public whatsoever, the underdog in the race, for me, is Educhum.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Right. And I'll tell you why. I mean, this chap has got an evangelical voice, for want of a better word. And by use of an evangelical voice, I'm using it in a positive sense. When Educhum is speaking, you want to listen, regardless of what he's saying.
Really?
Pay attention. True. Pay attention to him, regardless of what he's
saying. Sorry? When it comes to oratory?
No, I mean, Kobina is flamboyant in his speeches.
The oratory is
I'm coming. Kobina is flamboyant. Look at the distinction. Kobina is flamboyant in his speeches. Educhum is evangelical.
Okay.
And by evangelical, you want to listen, regardless of the persona, right? It has the potency of spreading wide, which is why I carefully chose the terminology evangelical. Kobina at the point, yes, flamboyance, you want to listen to him, flowery language, right at the spot, you lose him when you leave the room.
Oh,
okay. But
this is your view.
This is my view,
of
the two candidates.
What about Dr. Bawumia?
So I'm going to come to that.
Why are you even discussing us?
I'm helping you.
No, but he's okay.
He's an observer.
Wish us well.
But he's an observer.
Yeah,
but he spoke about people. We want to talk about candidates. Continue.
You look at Dr. Bawumia, right? I mean, he rose to fame, right, from the election. And by election, the Central University lectures, economic stability.
And they were discussing macroeconomic indicators. They were not discussing Antiakusia.
We were discussing Antiakusia.
Saying the fundamentals are weak. That was macro.
The election 2024.
So that we continue turning the corner.
Dennis, ignore.
From digitalization to all of these, right? But what is happening in the current MPP is that instead of them going in blocks and mass, it's difficult to determine which block one belongs to or which block backs the leading.
It's a problem.
No, I mean, it's always clear, right? That's why it's going to be a very unique presidential primary to have. Now, Dr. Bawumia comes from the stock of Nanado. And even within the Nanado stock, you don't see a mass following of ex-appointees within the Bawumia bracket.
That's exactly what it is.
So,
right?
So far, those people have abandoned Bawumia.
I'm not saying they've abandoned, right? You could have had a mass following where you say, look, I mean, maybe 70% of the government or the ex-government, ex-Wallet are in support of his candidature. That is not very clear. Even in Parliament, it's not very clear.
Okay.
Right, so that's why I say it's going to be a very interesting context. Then you come to Ken, right? You come to Ken. Ken is a disruptor, a positive disruptor in the political sense of it. But then again, just a caution to Ken's team, they are flip-flopping quite a bit, which would make people wary. People like us. But I don't know if their target voters would pick, middle, upper class. Why I say
when you say answer, don't confuse whether it meant NDC.
And no, not NDC. People like
they say NDC. You want
no?
They say you want Kennedy to win.
No,
NDC.
No. We don't. We are not interested in whoever comes with face.
They say you are working hard.
So now, the Joy FM, City FM
assets.
Yeah, the Joy FM, City FM listeners. Right. So you look at Ken, who would poo-poo a tie-wearing politician. Then you drive around town, you see gigantic billboards of him in suits. Right. Then you ask yourself, hang on a second, is this guy contradicting himself? Then the erudite Kweku Kwatin, I love him to bits. His politics, I watch him from his time.
He's a student of EPN.
Yes. From his time from the finance ministry as spokesperson all the way through. Very erudite. Then he also comes in studio recently with Bernard, and he's poo-pooing suit-wearing politicians. Would you rather it was?
Yeah.
He's
giving my credit to that.
Oh, sorry, with Sandra. He's poo-pooing suit-wearing politicians. So that contradiction makes people like us, and by us, I mean the CTFM, Joy FM watchers and followers of politics. So hang on a second. Are these guys confused a bit? Right.
They said they have seen it and they are tired.
Yeah, so this is where they need
wrap
to...
up
I'm wrapping up. This is where they need to tie and clean it up a bit.
You haven't spoken about Brian.
Sorry, Brian is a Latter-day Saint, as we all see.
But he wears some hat these days. I don't know.
Yeah, so again...
He has stopped the shoot.
No. Again, Brian,
T-shirt with hat.
You know, I'm doing this analysis devoid of anything.
Yes.
It's difficult.
It's word of something.
But so far he's been fair to you.
He supports Ken. He said there's a part of them.
So the background is
So you look at Ken. I mean, Ken also comes from. Sorry, I say Brian. Brian comes from a very interesting trajectory. To find a security couple breaking ranks to contest political primaries is quite interesting.
It's not a security couple.
When I say security, I'm coming. When I say security couple, by virtue of a role he's held in government.
Security minister.
Yeah, whether you're a security minister, dependent, or national security coordinator.
No, it was deputy national.
No, he was minister of state.
But he was minister in charge of national security. Well, hardly, because when you have...
But he left to agree.
No, I'm going to come to that. Yeah, when you get to that point, you truncate.
You usually don't come back.
Yeah, you usually don't come back because you truncate and go into the shadows.
Okay.
So it's interesting to want him to see him pivot.
Okay.
Which again is quite interesting and an interesting dynamic to watch.
Okay.
As I said, we are ready for whoever they bring. I saw Danny struggling to say, by next year this time where he's not setting our timetable as a party. We are not setting.
The two of you. Let me, Franklin Kujo. I think Franklin Kujo is still online. Franklin, 1 minute. The internal matters we saw, the peace pact that they are signing, it shouldn't be a big problem. We shouldn't worry about it for the democracy and all of that.
Oh, well, not really, no. But I think it's a facade. Because I think they are deceiving themselves. They know that a lot of the things that have happened, a lot of the carnage that party committed on this country, and most of them are not even confronting the issues, right? And that's why I worry. It is important for them to confront the issues and plead and actually beg before they even think about coming back to power. I don't see, look, they can quarrel for all I care. I think it is important to understand that a lot of the things they are doing, Charlie, well, good luck to them.
Thank you, Franklin. Let me hear from Senyo and Duncan first.
I would have wished to abstain, but
don't abstain.
I have to be here, so I'm here.
You need your wisdom.
Me.
Yes.
As
my teacher is here, don't worry.
As a representative of consumers.
My mushi.
Are you supporting any of the five?
I support Ghana, basically, and I think that the NPP will do all of us a good service if they prioritize a leader from their fold that has Ghana at heart. The last NPP we saw should not repeat itself. Okay. That I will not, because where you have...
You mean the Baumia-led NPP should not repeat itself? Or that's
Nanado-led NPP.
Never repeat, he won't come again.
It shouldn't repeat itself.
We don't want that kind of spirit to be here again.
No, it...
Be fair.
2020.
I have you on record. Let all of us around this table, we would love to have Nanado's 2027 to 2020 MPP. So maybe you can say the 2021 to 2024 Nanado-led MPP. That's what you mean.
No, but you see, even in the first term, right? There were skirmishes.
Yeah, but I think even now there's skirmishes with this 12 months.
You can deal with them.
Dennis can deal with them. But
I voted for Nana in 2016.
It's okay. Lance are here from Senyo. They say there's no time for you to speak, so Duncan will end the conversation.
It's okay.
Then I might as well leave it for Senyo.
No, wait.
Senyo.
Look, I see. I mean, the peace pact is symbolic, and we should commend the MPP for it. Whether it's symbolic or not, it helps manage expectations within the broader sphere. It's not about the person sitting there, it's about the broader party. They are sending a message to their rank and file that we still want to make sure we run a peaceful environment. At the end of the day, they want power. If you ask the NDC people who abstained in 2016 from voting because there was apathy and they were angry, ask them whether their lot was better under Akufo-Addo. Had they not, they couldn't even find people to talk to. So as a party, you must always find a way to rehabilitate.
But you support Dr. Bawumia, right?
I mean, I've supported everybody in different forms. I mean, like I told him.
You support Kennedy?
Kennedy, I mean, in this particular thing, I'm quite disappointed in the communication discussion by all these people. It says that the MP tells me how bad the MPP is right now.
Oh.
No, I will explain.
You don't have time to explain. Let's leave it there. On that bad note, let's end it on the bad.
The MPP has lost. It has lost its philosophy. No, wait.
You're sounding like Lewin.
Has no ideology again. No, this MPP is not the MPP of the Rota. The MPP is not the MPP of J.A. Spencer. It is not the MPP of J.A. Kufuor. It is not the MPP of Osafo. It's not the MPP of Edu Boyne.
This is a fake MPP.
This MPP must look within after this election. One election. After this primaries, reinvent yourself. How can an MPP be sitting there and be arguing about suit or no suit? You see, they don't even know what
so
this
is
Senyo.
Senyo.
You are a bunch of
Senyo.
Ghana needs you to change.
Okay.
So we need you to
Senyo.
Change.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. That's it for the big issue. Thank you. That's it for the big issue. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much. Have a good day.